we're live.
So Raylene and I watched Starship Troopers yesterday because it was on Netflix or whatever, and man, does Jake Busey look like his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They both have the same demon mouth. Also, that movie's good. As per usual, Jim is wrong.
It's a good movie. No, it's a good movie, but it is
a terrible adaptation.
It is a terrible adaptation, and since that book, Starship Troopers, is like his favorite book ever. The fact that they adapted it that way.
Whose favorite book ever? Heinlein's?
Jim's.
Oh, Jim's.
Bratz.
Oh, well.
Bratz.
Yeah, he absolutely hates it because of the adaptation. He cannot look past it.
I love Heinlein, and that's one of my least favorite Heinlein books. It's a good book, but it's just... I actually like the movie a little bit better than the book, and I know that's sacrilege. Although they could have more power armor.
Well, that's the thing is, no power armor. What's her face is a her instead of a him, and
Basically, if you took Starship Troopers and Edge of Tomorrow and mixed them together, I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, and like the way that they do Starship Troopers, like at the end when they're like, they'll keep on fighting, like to the viewer it seems like an optimistic badass thing. It doesn't get across the fact that it's a really stupid, suicidal, pathetic, stupid decision. It sounds like a heroic, patriotic decision, and so they don't really get across the satire as much.
It's such a great satiric movie.
Would you like to know more?
It sounds like Paul Verhoeven at his best.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Paul Verhoeven.
That's what that sounds like to me.
Paul Verhoeven is good.
We should probably introduce everyone.
Nah.
Well, what are we? 144?
143.
143.
We are
which we already
one
said is not a prime
episode-
number. It's 13 times 11.
Yeah, we're one episode past the point of
No return.
So, army of neckbeards.
Yeah.
Well, forming to take us out.
Next episode is going to be gross, guys.
Yeah.
I was letting my neckbeard grow
Math
out,
joke?
but I didn't have
Gross,
time.
yeah.
They didn't give me enough
Math
notice. So.
Oh, God.
Next episode's going to be
You're the
gross.
worst. Because it's 144, I get it.
Yeah, it is.
I also made sure I said that out loud for people who don't know math jokes.
That was nice of you.
Yeah, I tend to be a decent person sometimes.
If Green Bay loses right now, I'm going to be so annoyed.
I
because
literally
told you,
can't lose.
they could. There's like 5 minutes left in the game.
There was like 2 minutes and they were up by 3 scores.
It was 4:38. That's more like 5 than it is
Stranger
2.
things
You only have to...
happened.
No, I think mathematically, if they kneel 3 times and punt, and then it's run back for a touchdown, and then they kneel 3 times and punt, and it's run back for a touchdown, and they kneel 3 times, they still win.
Okay.
Like, there literally wasn't enough time left for Seattle to win. By Seattle, I mean... Washington. Seattle is less racist.
Seattle had a gift given to them today.
Before I forget, I had an announcement. Oh, yeah, no. Fucking A.
Well,
yeah, Seattle's MVP.
ourselves.
Oh, yeah, we still haven't done that.
So
No.
go ahead and round it off, Andy. You started
So
it.
instead of candy crushing it, you're coloring.
I don't Candy
But
Crush.
her pencil's too big, so her branches are kind of blurry.
Yeah, it's really a really thick crayon. I don't like it.
Who makes crayons like that?
That's a really lame crayon.
Well,
Do you have
see,
to sharpen it?
No.
Well, they
it's a
tried to
peel.
sell you by this pretty package, and then
they
you're
didn't
like,
sell
we're
me
going to
by
give
the packaging. They sold me by the I don't have to sharpen them, so I can leave this all at work.
you.
Not
But
have
you
to worry
do
about
have
it.
to sharpen them, or else
just
you're
peel the
drawing
You
paper
with
peel
off.
the paper, and then it sharpens by its own...
By the fact that there's more
Yeah.
crayon available and not a
They
sharper
should
You
point.
just-
sharpen, you just have to, like...
Yeah, you have to use
scribble.
it in a
Yeah.
weird
to
way,
give it a point.
Or you
which
could
is
just
sharpening.
have
in
shitty
a
coloring
sense.
because it's not why I'm coloring.
I'm
Hi.
Nathan.
Damn it, I was going to say Andy.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Andy.
Hi, I'm Ben.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Brian, and we're missing on the other Brian. Well, I'm the other Brian, but the original
No,
Brian
you're Brian.
seems to be
You're
missing.
Brian now.
You're Brian
I
now.
am Brian
Oh,
right
man.
now.
Lame
Own
Brian wasn't here today.
Yep,
Own that shit.
the original Brian he has packed his bags and moved off to
Alaska.
It was
no,
the Alps.
it was the
He's in
Alps.
the Alps.
It's a monastery in the Alps, and his sole purpose there is to learn Malifaux and Guildball. I imagine though that he will only be there for maybe a week after he's played 90 games and judges the game to be stagnant and uninspiring.
You stopped at my announcement. I had an announcement. My announcement is Malifaux's a terrible game for big dumb gay babies.
Oh, man. Hey, you don't have to be gay.
Now I don't have to worry about my house getting burnt down.
Joke's on you, I rent. Hooray, bad economy.
Renter's insurance.
We've got farmers.
Ben, you're a terrible person with bad opinions, and you play Malifaux. I'm right, aren't I?
I used to play Malifaux.
Even the guy who came to defend Malifaux. No, okay.
I know. I have enough experience with Malifaux that I can talk about
To
Malifaux.
be perfectly honest,
The Malifaux community has chosen their champion.
No, they haven't. They have no idea I'm here. I actually know some of those guys
They
that were in
know
the thread.
you're here.
They have no idea.
So is this like your dirty secret? Like,
Kind of. It's like I have a box in the corner of the closet, and there's some Malifaux
don't
figures
worry,
in
the,
it.
He's
the
going to
downvotes
be
will
shunned.
spread like wildfire on YouTube. Don't worry.
I'm fighting this fight on like 5 different forums right
Oh, yeah.
now. Like in the fuck fort, we're arguing about Malifaux.
In the fuck forum.
Yeah, no, the fuck fort.
Okay.
Oh, even
Wait,
better.
the fuck
Okay.
for it. I don't know about this
5
one.
fingers.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, 5 fingers. It's colloquially referred to as the fuck fort.
I was not aware of that.
No, because it alliterates. I don't know.
I
Will
like
Pagani
alliteration.
says we're all terrible.
Will Pagani is right.
he says we're all terrible because of this.
He said no, the fuck fort.
Well,
Will
that's
Pagani said that
basically-
everybody who posts on 5 fingers is.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, I was part of that. Don't you remember? That was it.
No.
That was at Gen Con.
Was it?
Yeah, when he posted on there, I was right next to Will Pagani at the time.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right, so yeah, so we do have announcements, right?
Like not bridge burning ones, but actual.
Well, no, these
announcements.
ones are actual ones. I did check out my Facebook to see how the events are organized for this month for War Machine and the coming one, and it's not bad. It's a pretty good run. On the 23rd, there's the 50-point steamroller at Pegasus in Madison, and then after that, in Green Bay at Nome Games on the 30th, there's another steamroller. I think this one's a 50-point one, but I can't remember right off the top of my head. And then the very next day, if you want to travel to Milwaukee at Johnny C's Cards, they're having a two-list 35-point event, I assume.
You're forgetting about the best one.
Well, the WOG PACA event,
Correct.
that one I've been roped into going to.
Yep. 35 points.
And that's on the 30th as well. So if you don't want to drive to Green Bay and play War Machine there, you can drive to Wapaka
Yep.
and witness myself and Andy. Well, I'll probably get drunk to the point where Andy has to carry me home. But
I'll just get I'll get a couple sled dogs
really
and I'll just
interested in
point them
what's going on
south
Okay,
and
I
then
was-
just mush them.
I was giving you a cue to get cut before then, but we'll see. And then finally,
couldn't see it.
there's another Milwaukee event at Realm of the Dragon on the 13th of February, and that is a Devastation release event.
Oh yeah.
Slow, bro, but it works.
In addition to
Devastation.
that,
was a while ago.
In addition to that, there's also a Guildball tournament in Bloomington, Illinois, next weekend called the Frosty Balls Tournament. So if you want to sign up for some Frosty Balls, go on the Guildball forums, and pretty good group going down there. So
I feel like
Play
we're
some
gonna
Guildball.
we're gonna like Saturday Night Live it and start talking about my salty balls too.
Sweaty balls.
My sweaty balls. Yeah, there
Yeah,
we go.
sweaty
It was
balls.
chocolate salty balls
Yes.
for
South
South
Park.
Park.
yes,
Yeah.
Sweaty Balls was good because it had Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
And Alec Baldwin is a goddamn national treasure.
he really is. He's
He
the
is.
best of the Baldwins.
Like occasionally he calls his daughter a fat stupid pig and like blows up on Twitter,
Who
but you know
doesn't?
what? Alec Baldwin is a national treasure.
Most certainly.
Are there like how many factions are there in Gilded Balls?
8 now, 9 soon.
Gilded balls.
They're bringing the hunters in with
Everybody just keeps talking. The only ones I hear about are the Brewers and the Alchemists. Nobody plays anything else.
I play the butchers.
Oh, there's fishermen.
There's
too.
a lot of Cricks diehards who are like dead morticians.
Morticians are pretty cool.
I didn't even know they existed.
Yeah, they have morticians and engineers and pillow or the chimney sweeps.
Are there any robots or rat monsters?
Yes.
Oh, there's robots?
There's certainly
They're
robots.
engineers.
There's rat monsters.
Engineers have like a little cricket
Engineers?
robot that goes around and
No.
exploding at people.
There's
That's not
one.
the same as
Isn't
being
there
a
an
robot,
automaton lady in that too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a couple like wood like mannequins that run around that are robots.
No, that's Malifaux.
This is not as fun as being uneducated talking about this.
Sorry.
You're trying to
yeah.
educate us.
In
on this
Guild
here.
Ball, what you get is instead of dice,
It's like sports ball.
you get 2 really big balls, and the way that you actually like go for the first turn is you throw it at your opponent's
It's
head.
like dodgeball,
That is
really.
empirical evidence from experience. This is how
Can
you
you-
play the game.
Oh, you
you
don't
cup
just
the
play,
balls?
You can cut. Well, if you have
You
a
have
big
to.
enough grip, then yeah, you have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It is
if-
not good for small-handed
If
people.
we each had a big ball, I would just play Conquerors.
Yeah. Or well, is that where you just run at each other with the ball?
No, that's where you hit each other's balls with your balls, and whoever's balls break loses.
Oh man.
Do you
I
just
think-
spend all day on Urban Dictionary just
No.
looking up stuff?
Okay,
Because that's my thought. Every time I listen to this
That's where-
podcast,
oh,
I'm like,
that's-
wow, that's all he does all day
this
is
is
Urban
actually
Dictionary.
a semi-legitimate thing. It's
I'm not doubting that.
It's an
Semi-legitimate
old, well, it's not with your balls, but it's a children's thing in England that probably goes back to the Middle Ages, where you'd find like an acorn or a nut or whatever your group of friends used, and you'd put a string through it, and then you just spin it and smash it into the other guys, and then he'd spin and smash into yours. And you took turns smashing, and whichever one broke, fucking lost. So it was a battle to the death. And so somebody would have this champion conqueror that had killed hundreds of other people's nuts.
If the acorn broke, or if the person's nuts broke.
Well, you don't hit each other's nuts; you hit each other's acorns.
See, now I was thinking.
See, that was a point of
You're hitting the
contention.
acorn
Sounds
with the
much more
acorn.
entertaining.
Okay.
You're hitting the acorn with the acorn, and it's a battle to the death for the acorns.
Got you, because acorns are very valuable.
Yeah, and so kids would like polish them, and they'd rub them with liniment oil to harden them and everything.
cheating.
Yeah.
So
with
this is
our-
like the hoop on with like the pole that you like
Yeah,
push on the
push it
string.
around.
This is beyond that, because that's like 20 stuff. Conquerors is from like the Middle Ages. Like this is what Dickensian street urchins did to keep themselves happy.
So conkers? Is it like the bad fur day?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not bad
yeah,
for
yeah,
anything.
Is that where they got that from?
I don't think it's spelled with a Q. Well, no, Conquerors. Yeah, that
Conquerors
is
was the C.
Conker. I think it's the same spelling.
And it's an English game. So.
Ooh, Crippled System is live.
Ooh, sweet.
Wow, notifications.
Things I don't need to watch.
And that's also how you play Malifaux.
Pretty
It is.
much.
Well, given
Is you just swing around nuts until one breaks, and then you're done.
It's a horse chestnut.
Oh,
Is that where a horse eats a chestnut and shits it out later, or because they can't process it, or is that that's coffee? Coffee with
Those are cats.
with
Those are like
elephants.
Guatemalan cats.
Oh, really?
So
Chestnuts are?
No, that's shit coffee.
Yeah, the shit coffee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like these Southeast, or not Southeast, these
I thought
South
it was
American.
elephants.
I'm-
Like people get
No,
it.
you
No,
make
they feed
paper out of elephant poop. You make coffee out of Amazon jungle cat poop.
that isn't
Don't-
correct.
I don't think
That's
so.
correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know
It's
that at
very
least
valuable
there's
Well, I know it's valuable coffee.
There's
I just
also
didn't think it was
poop coffee.
cats.
They're not like
But I'm
house
not sure
cats,
if
but they're
it's-
related to cats. It's
Well-
kind of like how, yeah.
Unlike, well,
Cat
I guess
girls.
like since you can
cat
get
girl shit.
your coffee from literal assholes, I don't think it's too far of a stretch of the imagination to get your beer from people's assholes.
Yeah, it's called IPAs.
Yeah.
Actually, that's beer in general. Yeah, I know I did that.
You don't like
I'm
beer?
in Wisconsin. Screw that.
Yeah, you
No,
are.
no, that's
You're like,
fine. I
I do like cheese, though. So I'm.
I
fine.
thought that too until I had two women.
Well, there you go.
Spotted cow.
Yeah. You
No,
never go back.
honestly, I can
Schlitz.
respect people that don't like beer, but as long as you like hard liquor, then I'm
Oh
fine
yeah,
with
I'm
that.
down with hard.
Yeah, as
All
long
right.
as you have a damaged childhood too and want to get drunk and forget about your
Yeah.
life, then you're fine with me.
Lots of scotch lately. Scotch.
So
I have
what,
some Captain
Nathan's got an O face.
Well, I'm just looking at the Conquerors Championships history, okay? And in 2001, Eamon Dooley from Freshford in Kilkenny, Ireland, smashed the world record and broke an amazing 306 Conquerors in an hour.
Wow.
Which is actually, not sarcastically, really fucking impressive. Cause,
Yeah, it is.
Like,
That's what.
that's like one every
Let's-
10 seconds.
Yeah, it's more
That's
than
rough.
one a minute. For
360 would be one every 10 seconds.
Oh
Is
my
this
God.
on ESPN 8 the Ocho?
It better be. Holy shit.
'Cause I completely would watch
They
the
just
hell out
lined
of
up
that
and you
shit.
just smash, like an assembly line.
I don't
like
know,
that
when
dude
you-
karate chopping the coconuts.
Wow. Yeah, I would completely watch that.
I like the guy who karate chops the coconuts because he doesn't make it through all of them.
He doesn't break a single one. He just smashes his hand on the metal
Oh.
rebar. Why'd you
Okay.
stack? He literally, like, the very first one, his hand glances off and hits the sharp metal rebar the coconuts are balanced on. And he tries to it through a time. It's just like, dude, please stop. You've broken at least 20 bones in your hand.
Stop, please.
Now, given my neckbeardy nature, when you first started up talking about whacking nuts together, I really thought we were just gonna just go naked and start hitting our ball sacks together.
No, you're not a
Testicle
neckbeard.
torture.
I don't.
would've.
Your ball sack's weird and has a giant hole in it.
Well, I know I wanted it to have one.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, that was not something.
You
that
do
I
that, I'll play
underwent.
Ball Conquers with you.
Okay,
Top
well,
Gear
then you
did a
can just
giant
try to
game
do
of
the-
Conquers using caravans suspended from cranes.
That
sounds like something Top Gear would do.
Top Gear. I was just about to say it's
That's
some redneck
completely-
car show, and I'm like, oh well, it's basically the same thing, right? But with English people.
I saw a video of the Top Gear guys playing soccer with cars, and it was basically Rocket League. So I was like, "That's
I
amazing."
hate Rocket Leagues.
Well, you're
Come
wrong.
on.
What?
You're
I just-
so
What's wrong with you?
Can't. I
You
guess
haven't played with the
it's
right
like
people.
The two things that I don't like about games, like sports
Cars
games and
and
car games,
hitting
just
people?
smashed in
It's
one.
the first game of our time to say, not our time, but all time, to say that its genre is sports racing and actually be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because NASCAR is not a sport.
I would. It's not really.
That's the
I guess
next
it's
thing
probably
we'll
not
get
really
looked
sports,
for.
but I would say like the Burnout series.
What about that
Is
Japanese horse
completely-
racing game?
That is also a game.
That is a racing sport game, yes.
Yes, that is an interesting.
Polo is kind of a sports racing game.
You don't race in polo.
Well, you've raced.
That's like saying
score
soccer's a
goals.
foot race.
You don't race in Rocket League either. You
No.
hit the ball into the goal. Sorry,
My mic.
Don't punch the microphone.
I didn't mean to punch.
Ben.
Like I got.
That's your.
I mean, I
that's
guess
your.
I'd rather have you punch the mic than me. So
Yeah, I didn't bump the crayon either.
Actually,
so.
that would have been good times.
Well, I
Would've,
did say
'cause
that
I
this
got
was
my
going
ass
to be.
No.
I did predict that this was going to be the first Crippled System episode where there was also a live fight, and that is why we have cameras to capture these
Exactly.
moments
Yeah.
and feed them to the world.
I should have health bars on the channel too. so KO.
That's you work up your momentum in that game, and then
Exactly.
you smash people.
Yeah.
What I noticed watching last week's episode to try to find where we infuriated 27 people.
37.
Oh, well, no, because we usually get a good 10 downvotes. So it's 27 extra people.
We normally don't get downvotes.
Oh, I should go back and downvote all of our episodes.
I
then.
usually try to.
The point is, I noticed that I'm like a wee little hobbit man. It's like,
you've always been a wee little
I
hobbit
stretched.
man.
I stretched the perspective so
I,
much.
like I'm looking at it, it's just like, oh my god, there's a halfling, or this microphone is like 40 feet back.
Yep. I know they put the big guy right in front of the screen to make you look small.
From the angle, like my face was just blocked by this, and I looked like a 10-year-old just peeking over, like, "Hey guys, I'm part of the podcast."
Who put the really
I sound like
racist
Edith
10-year-old
Bunker
on the
there.
show? Like, what happened?
Amanda.
that's every 10-year-old. Yes.
Amanda,
very
Tort says that you hate Rocket League, like pod racing. Hates Rocket League like pod racing.
I don't
You
like
think that Brian is attractive. Amanda, you have terrible opinions on literally everything.
That's a fallacy.
There's a cool color.
You said phallus. High five.
Yeah, she says that word.
Not pod racing. You like that Destiny shit.
Yeah, that's pod
Well,
racing.
you don't like that anymore because it fucked you over.
No.
Yes, it did.
There's a
Or
story
are you back to that abusive relationship? Because on
It is,
Facebook,
it's-
you were really clear that you were done with that
I
shit.
was done with it. Racing's over, so I
Nope,
have to
I
be
heard
done
it.
with it.
I heard it. I heard it. Just
What?
a
Well,
few
then it was
nights ago.
Iron Banner, and Iron Banner's a bunch of bullshit.
No, it
because
wasn't Iron
fucking
Banner.
lag
You were
switchers.
racing.
I wasn't. Racing's done.
I heard races. I heard horns.
'Cause you
The
probably-
horns were
Yeah,
going.
because I still have a horn, and I go through the public space and just honk my horn constantly.
That seems legit.
Is that?
I
you
bet
went back
that,
in-
that sounds like
Yes.
this.
Because I did that, they threw me in jail.
That sounds like a Tuesday.
Just running through public space, it's honking your horn
I
constantly.
have a clown horn on my Sparrow, and so you run up to people and you just honk your horn repetitively, and then they leave because they're angry.
Does Yaki Sax play then? And you chase him
God.
around?
Yes, that is something that we've done as well.
Ah, I love Yaki Sax. Makes everything better, really.
I should link you the griefing thread in the forum. It's so good.
The pod racing griefing?
No, just the general game griefing thread where they talk about how to grief people in games. Like right now they're talking about Age of Wulan a lot, but like one they talked about was in the Star Wars MMORPG. Like there was this place you could only get to like on a balloon balloon, and like the balloon only came like once every like 2 hours, so you had to literally wait in game for this fucking balloon.
Space balloon?
I don't know, but the point is like
Star Wars one we're talking about, right?
when the balloon would come and people would go to get on, you would just bump them and they'd fall off the mountain, and then just have to go up and wait another 2 hours. And it's a big dick move.
Yeah.
They're talking Legend of Wulan, which is this batshit insane kung fu MMORPG.
Okay.
You could put bounties on people, and then if you capture that person, they went to jail, and they went to jail for like hours of in-game time. Like if you were logged out, it didn't count towards your jail time. So you literally just had to sit in jail for hours, and you could like talk to the other prisoners, but you were in fucking jail.
That seems like a really good idea for their servers to have people
Yeah.
just sitting there
Sitting
idle.
there doing nothing.
Just
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
And so the big grief though is that for some like holiday thing, the developers made characters and went on there and put bounties on themselves for like a shitload of money. And so with the bounty, if you capture if you incapacitate the person, you get the money in
Sure.
addition to going to jail. So they put these massive bounties on themselves. It's like a Where's Waldo thing where you had to go find them. And so all the goons found the developers and protected them. just for like days. They prevented anybody. They had just this army just defending them, not killing them for their own bounty. Like they escorted them and they put them on the throne in the main city and defended this throne room from hundreds and thousands of players for days, like a siege, like Helm's Deep.
That's like a story you hear about EVE Online. I would never play that game because it seems like so many spreadsheets and so
much
painful.
time.
It's like the KD MMO. But
Nobody has fun playing Eve. Eve
Yeah.
is not about enjoying yourself.
But what's great about it is the stories.
Yes.
You hear these amazing stories about these epic things where it takes 8 months of like infiltrating this organization. And like what they don't go into is the fact that they had to basically click a button over and over again for 8 months to get that to happen, and from one moment of
shit.
joy.
But the
So,
important thing with Eve is that one moment of joy cost somebody $250,000 real world dollars
That's
as
pretty
well.
awesome,
Like
yeah.
that's the thing about Eve is
The amount of time and effort that people put into those ships and the Eve and that it's insane.
expense of them. The literal expense of them. Like I watched a video a little bit ago talking about the most expensive items like sold in games, and it's things like you can buy property in some of these MMOs for millions of
Second Life.
dollars.
there was a big Second Life thing when that first came out,
Yeah.
that people
Well,
were doing that stuff.
There
It's
is
a really good investment, it turned out.
Because someone else will pay more.
Yeah.
It's like the idiots who buy stocks and bonds. Idiots.
I cannot think of the name of the game that's been perpetually on Kickstarter for like the past 4 years. now.
Kingdom Death.
No,
No, not Kingdom Death.
That came out,
The
actually.
space one that I
Yeah,
would have
I
been
know.
able to say 2 seconds ago. Whatever. But I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is that Elite or is
Nope.
it,
No, because it's never going to exist ever.
Star Citizen.
Star
Oh,
Citizen.
yes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
basically like the Wing Commander sequel
the
in
one
a
that's up
sense.
to like 100 million?
What Star
Oh, it's even bigger
Citizen
than that.
is people throwing money into a bottomless pit that's on fire. Like nothing's ever coming out of that shit.
They actually have released a lot of stuff on it so far, but the
Videos
fact you
and
can
stuff.
you can go out and pay $800 for just a ship in the fucking game. That's what?
And the game's never coming out.
It's coming out.
No. I
It will.
guarantee you
It
that
will.
game will never come out.
It'll come out and just be shit.
No. They won't even shovelware it. They're
it'll be
bankrupt. Like that money is being burnt. That game is never seen the
believe
light
it.
of day. Not even off-road trucking championship shovelware. Like there is no Star Citizen ever in the future.
Not Farming Simulator 2016.
Not even. No scope corn shot. Good times.
You know they have an actual controller for that, like a Steel Battalion, like full on, like gigantic Farming Simulator controller to control the tractors.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's called a tractor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they just tell them it's hooked up to a computer. They just trick people into tilling their land. They're just really clever Amish people.
Well, that's what StarCraft's all about, really.
Yeah.
But actually, that could work that way. You know, like you have the like gamer in that with the soldiers actually doing things for that, and also like that sci-fi thing I threw up.
So you're
Yeah,
saying
that was the plot line of the smash hit Robin Williams film Toys that everybody remembers so much.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember the shit out of that.
yeah, with
I saw that in the
the
theater.
Wendy and Lisa song.
Need a little
and,
more space.
Yeah.
I went to the theater with my dad and my eldest brother, and they went and they watched Basic Instinct. Not Basic Instinct, I'm sorry. Body of Evidence. And then I went and watched
Oh.
Toys. I was like 12 at the time, so I wasn't going to watch Body of Evidence with them, but
But they'll let you
that's a
in
weird
the theater
fucking
on your
movie.
own.
It's also a bad movie too. That's like Madonna's second movie, is
Yeah,
it?
that was terrible.
Why the fuck do I know that?
Because
I don't know if
Dick Tracy was the first one, right? And it was
No,
awesome.
We walked like
Desperately
5
Seeking
miles
Susan.
by ourselves.
Yeah, I know.
Desperately Seeking Susan was their first
Okay,
one.
I never
That's a
saw
good
that.
movie. We were latchkey kids, and we walked like 5 miles to go see
Uphill both
Teenage Mutant
ways?
Ninja Turtles.
No.
Yeah.
Not in the snow and not uphill. My point is, like, we could have been abducted. Like, there's no, we had
yeah.
nobody protecting us. So we
No,
just walked down the highway to get to the theater, whatever. Fuck it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was coming out.
The entire new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is just playing with my heart this entire time because the new trailer's got like Rocksteady and Bebop like looking
Yeah.
like actual Rocksteady and Bebop in the shows and talking like them and stuff like that. And I just found out that they have Krang in the frickin' movie. Spoilers. And it's actually a guy in a robot suit with a brain in his chest. I'm like, and there's apparently
In his
this
stomach.
drum and stuff like that. It's his stomach.
yeah.
Yes, good
Yeah,
point.
okay.
So. Yeah, they're playing with my heart because I know it's going to be terrible. It's going to
Did
be
you
so bad.
Did you see the first one?
No.
It was bad.
You can
It
watch
was
it.
no, it wasn't bad. It was
better than I expected.
It was-
That doesn't mean it wasn't bad.
no, it was tolerable. It was something I would rank it in the same veins as The Last Witch Hunter. Is it?
It was way worse than Last Witch Hunter, bro.
No, it had some.
Witch Hunter was a solid C+ to me.
I gave it a C+.
I still haven't
Teenage
seen
Mutant
it.
Ninja Turtles, I was expecting F- and got D+. And that's how much better it was than I was expecting. It was still shit.
I would give it at least a C+.
Remember
For
how
the
they
film.
had to hold up that thing?
Oh, yeah.
Because if it fell down, it would kill everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just let it go and didn't care anymore because the movie forgot its own plot.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Or like,
Let's have this countdown for releasing this mutagen around the world or off of this thing.
So
but
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
no, even better. So they have the countdown going, and then at like 5, it just starts spraying out gas.
Let's have all of our turtles hooked up to something that's draining their blood, but then have the only button on the screen be a button that saves their lives. Like, why as a villain did you design it so that the only button on the screen saved the people's lives?
It seems like a UI
Also-
flaw in that. I mean, they probably should have rethought that and sent it back. for
If you
some
need the
report development.
mutagen, why did you not take the unconscious giant rat? Do only the turtles have the mutagen blood? Like the
Racism.
7-foot-tall rat doesn't have the mutagen blood?
It was a black.
Did you
rat.
see the first one?
No,
Do you know how they learned ninjutsu?
I don't know. Watching Bruce Lee, because that seems like what they do in every movie nowadays.
After the turtles and the rat are flushed into the sewer, I'm sorry, not flushed, released in the sewer by April O'Neil, their owner, who had them all as pets when she was a kid, of course.
Wait, what?
After she...
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
April O'Neil had him as kid.
And then when they were little turtles, they could like headbutt through aquarium glass because they were super strong. But she doesn't remember that when she meets super strong turtles later. Anyway, so little
how
kid
old
April
are these
O'Neil,
turtles?
they're teenagers. So little kid April O'Neil lets these turtles down in the sewer, where the rat finds a book written in English that is how to be a ninja. And he just reads the book and then teaches the turtles.
Well,
So
if
they're
I
basically
know,
One Punch Man turtles.
no, they're Kung Fu Hustle,
Yeah.
like the little pamphlet on
Such
how
a
to
great
do the
movie.
open fist.
Yep, it's Kung Fu Hustle style.
They do push-ups every day
Yeah.
and stuff like
See
that.
if you can find the flaw in this,
Okay,
Ben.
I'm looking forward
Here's
to
your
this.
trivia. I'm breaking that stand. I'm clutching it so
Yeah, I
tight.
know, it's
I know, it was like
Fucking
the
dumb.
handprints were getting...
So April O'Neil's dad is doing studies on these turtles with so the evil people want to inject. They want to discover an antidote, so that once they have this antidote, they can invent a disease that the antidote cures. So.
Okay.
We're not to the question. We're not to the question yet.
Oh,
So,
we're not
so
to
far,
the
this sounds like
question
normal
yet.
business.
They're,
and a good
they're
stock market
injecting the
plan.
turtles and the rat with mutagen so that they can discover an antidote using their mutagenic blood, so that once they have this antidote, they can invent a disease so that they can release the disease in New York City, killing New York City, but then having the disease so they can save the rest of the world and be heroes and blackmail everything. Whatever.
Reasonable.
So,
Okay.
that
April
sounds like-
O'Neil's dad discovers this, so he's killed and the lab is burned down, and April lets the turtles free, and then they go learn to be ninjas. And then teenage years later, the turtles are back, and the evil people find the turtles, and they go, ha 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 ha, we can get the mutagen out of their blood to return to doing our evil plan, which was to run experiments on the mutagen to discover an antidote so that they could build a disease. So they capture 4 of the mutant creatures. They let one of them go, because why? And then they let one of the ones that they had captured stay unconscious. So they take 3 of them back. And then they take those 3 and they take the mutagen out of their blood. And they say, ha-ha, we have the mutagen. Now we can release the disease and kill everybody and continue with our evil plan.
Huh.
Wow.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Yesterday I was at a wedding where there was a 6-year-old girl who was describing in detail the entire plot and every character for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you sound about the same.
But I want to ask you the question, what's the flaw in their plan here? They have the
There's no
mutagen.
flaw.
Which one?
They have the mutagen. What were they doing with the mutagen originally?
Try to
Killing
make
everyone.
the disease.
Try to make an antidote
They had to
to
make
the
the cure
disease.
first.
So now they have a mutagen and they have a fucking disease, and so they just spread the disease. Where's the fucking antidote?
Where does Shredder come in?
He's just a robot guy.
Wait, he's a robot?
No, yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
He's like a cyborg.
He's like Iron Man.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
he's
have
like
to watch
Iron
this
Man,
damn
and he
movie.
shoots swords out of his arms, and then magnets
I
bring the
didn't
swords
bother
back to his
watching
arms.
That sounds cool.
But the whole fucking premise was that they needed the mutagen to make an antidote. They never make the fucking antidote.
seems
Anecdote,
like a
antidote.
plan.
They never make an anecdote
Basically-
either.
They had a MacGuffin device throughout the entire film, but they didn't know what the MacGuffin device was, or even used it.
If-
I mean, it basically had this one thing that they needed, and they're like, meh, movie.
You like, it wouldn't be so bad. Like they could have from the start just said the mutagen is what they need, but they made such a blatant point that their entire evil plan was that they were in the middle of running experiments to turn the mutagen into a cure. They never fucking did that. So how does having the mutagen now suddenly make it so that they don't need to do that step anymore?
I'm still stuck on how you make the antidote before you make the disease.
Well, because, you can figure that out easy.
Yeah, once you've got the antidote.
Yeah, listen, the samurai did that all the time
Hold
back in
on.
the old days, says Shredder.
You have to go back. We have to put up TMT.
Oh, TMT spoilers. Spoiler, there's a random scientist in the back and somebody calls him Mr. Stockman, and that's it. And then he's out of the movie. Thanks for being there, fucko.
Now, admittedly, the new one, they definitely go a lot more into, like, we're going to throw in every reference we possibly can from the original
Yeah, that might
movie.
be better.
Which
That-
could be good. They're going full in on it and saying, fuck it, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we're going to go completely in on it. So we'll see how it works.
Speaking of going
Plus, Arrow's
completely in on it,
so
speaking of going completely in on it, you have no idea how much Michelangelo wants to just fuck the shit out of April O'Neil. This entire movie, he's just trying to rail her.
sounds like a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, and he also keeps trying to get her to come back to his room so that they can Skype and drink Orange Crush, because this movie brought to you by Skype and Orange Crush.
Yeah.
Is he a juggalo?
He
Well,
he
that's
basically
like-
juggles
that's-
Orange Crush constantly.
Yeah, that's a high class juggalo. They've
Yeah,
upgraded
he's moved
from
up from
Fago.
Fanta to the...
To Fago.
sorry,
Fago.
You know, I'm
Even
from an
Fanta-
area where Fago's made.
Yeah.
You're
so
not allowed at the gathering
You're
anymore.
just bad.
No, I
Bad
don't know
with
my
this.
juggalos very well.
Not
so
down with the clown.
I'm really not.
So
down
you
with
make
the
an
clown.
uninformed discussion. So
Yeah, you
about
you had an
juggalos.
uninformed. Of course, you've never
have
had.
juggalos
What I
on
do.
us this
Yeah,
time?
no.
That was a beautiful transition there. That was
Yeah,
really
that,
nicely
that
done.
wasn't. That was announcements.
Yes.
I'm moderately attractive, Tort. Shut up. I'm beautiful on the inside.
Tort's Australian. His opinion's irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. Something will kill him tomorrow.
I mean, they do make Fosters, and Fosters, I hear, is an excellent beer.
well, the only
Do
thing
you
I know,
hear that?
I just know that it's
It's
Australian
Australian
for
for
beer.
beer.
It's PBR in a bigger can. And Australians don't drink Fosters, by the way.
I know. That's why I said it that
Yeah.
way. God damn it.
My sister's
sorry.
currently living in New Zealand. That's exactly the same thing as Australia, right?
Yeah,
It
New
is,
Zealand.
yeah.
It's just-
Fosters, it's
Those
Australian
are the
for
same
New
place,
Zealand.
right? Yeah, okay.
New
Just making
Zealand
sure.
is Australia's Canada.
No.
So it's better
Isn't it the
in
Mexico?
every way.
No.
They have a
No,
lot
no.
of ethnics
Well, no, I guess because
Ethnics.
Tasmania is Australia's Florida.
You could
like that's where all
probably-
those
Legit.
Florida
No.
man stories come out of.
Nope.
Is that
You
in
could probably
Tasmania?
say this. You could probably say that New Zealand is Australia's Cuba.
It wants to be part of the party, but it just can't because
Yeah.
they won't take the tattoos off their face.
So that's more of a Puerto Rico.
Well, yeah.
Wow,
maybe,
Ryan.
maybe. But I mean, if we're
Already
talking like
started.
I'm already like
starting.
I'm like Mitch insulting other cultures now. We've done the Malifaux thing. That ship sailed. So
we're
now
on to
we're
the
on
Maori.
to insulting Maori.
Have we caused Tort's head to explode yet?
no. He says that New Zealand is Australia's hat.
So it is Canada.
Yeah, it's Canada.
Yeah.
New
We
Zealand is
said that
Australia's
first.
Canada. Tasmania is Australia's Florida.
Yes.
Because that's where all the man has penis stuck in whatever stories come out of.
Tasmanian
Yeah.
devil.
Probably. Don't fuck
They-
with
What
that.
else are you gonna do with Tasmania? I guess.
The guy had a barbed wired a dick band tattoo, and Tasmanian devils go crazy for that stuff.
tribal.
Yeah, tribal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Barbed wired
I-
band.
Barbed wire dick bands. It's like those. That's like all of the tattoo like
Tell
faux
me
pas,
more
just
about
all
this.
in one mixed up ball of awesome, and it worked. And I did that.
And it's got like Japanese characters around it.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
it says
Yeah.
shopping center.
Do you
And
think
it's got a
anybody
butterfly.
has like inches, like a ruler tattooed on their dick?
Probably.
But the inches are actually like 7/8.
Yeah, they
So that they're like,
more
look, see,
inches.
it's 8 inches long, and in reality,
Exactly.
it's not.
Yeah, I think there could be someone out
But that
there.
would be inaccurate at different phases.
It would be because if you're a
Yeah.
grower, not a shower,
Exactly.
things
It could
things
be cold
get
out
weird.
and suddenly your
Yeah.
measurement is not
You
exact.
could be
8
you could
inches
be
is this big.
Yep, you
That's
could be
okay. Then you measure your fish with that, and you say, this fish is huge. It's 6 dicks long.
It's a good unit of measurement.
Yeah,
Unit
dicks.
of measurement.
Yeah,
That's how you measure your control area in Guildball.
Exactly.
with my dick.
Yep. Little Nate dicks running around. Little baby Nate dicks.
It's in the
They're like
rule
the
book.
cocktail weenies.
Those are only Kickstarter exclusives.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kickstarter exclusive.
Season 3, they'll have the Nate Dicks.
Those will be ready
Yeah.
for regular.
You can
The
only-
new Guildball team is the podcasters.
They don't do shit.
Do shit. They don't know the rules of the game they're even in.
Yep.
Actually, you just set them up on the side of the field.
Yeah.
Like an announce team.
Supposedly farmers are the next team that hasn't been
Yeah,
announced
farmers.
yet.
That'll be really fun.
Yeah, yeah.
God
They're
forbid
going to
they-
run out of jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is they're at the service level class right now. They could go to like IT people.
They have merchants.
For the fluff,
Yeah.
it would make less for the storyline for it. It would make a lot of sense to have priests, like religious class of a guild like that, or like
Alkalites.
Thieves Guild would be really good. There's a lot of things you can
But
do.
if you're
actually.
a Thieves
You know
Guild
what's-
and there's like police around, like that's kind of a giveaway, isn't it?
Don't stand so close to me. You know what's the only thing I care about less than Guildball is a Guildball fluff.
There's
Lots of
fluff
people
in
die.
Guildball?
They kill characters.
Most
left and
people
right.
die.
Not in War Machine.
Except Abe
You know what
Vigoda.
doesn't
As
happen
previously
in Private
stated, Abe
Breast games?
Vigoda does
People
not
don't
die. Excuse you, Sturgis died.
Okay, people don't stay dead.
Well,
He is
Oh,
pretty
I'm
much
dead.
dead.
I got it. Okay.
Vlad 3's dead, or Vlad in general's dead. Like his third
but his
version
shoulder
was
Dagger
blast
is
was
dead?
on.
Yeah. Sorce's dad is dead.
Not
Okay,
Harlan
that's
Burch. Who's the
fair.
other?
That's
Hyric-
fair.
Garrett
Major
Voyle.
characters.
Voyle.
Okay.
No, I
not
see your point,
playable,
though. I mean,
though.
they've gone through 10 years.
They do need to
10
kill
years
some
plus
fucking people.
of characters that have not died. I mean, like
Madrak was
when
almost
Karchev was almost killed. I
Madrak
mean,
might be
it's-
dead now.
I think he maybe bled
No,
out.
not Madrak. Who was the Scorn one that got yanked under?
Was that Mordek?
Mordecai got flung like far away.
Somebody got pulled to hell and devoured by an arcane beast while
Oh,
the-
that was. Isn't
Must've
that
been
like
after
the
I stopped
reason why
reading it.
Zal's in like a cask now, basically?
That would make sense.
Because he's dead and now in a shitty ancestral guardian
stopped
with
by
bad
that.
No,
mass
no,
and
no,
speed.
because this is post that. Like somebody literally, like the ground. Oh, it was the battle with Cromac and what's his balls
Some-
over the axe.
Some scorn guy was like, "Hey, I'm relevant."
I think it was lanterns.
Yeah, I think it
no,
was.
Because the
Lanterns-
despoiler
Lanterns-
was there. Because the despoiler was there, and the despoiler is his land. That's his
Yeah.
beast. And like the ground opens, he falls into it, and they even while he's falling into this pit to hell, they have a demon eat him in midair while he's falling to hell.
He's not dead.
Well, of course not. But
It's a
they,
Private Press game.
they-
He just makes he's gonna go epic again.
they double killed him. Like so, maybe
I-
they cancel out.
He's one of my favorite casters, so Epic Mordecai would be pretty damn awesome.
Well, you got one of my favorite wins ever in War Machine using that caster.
Poltergeist killboxing someone.
Yes, back when Killbox was a loss, his opponent arced a spell, missed, and was pushed 2 inches out of the Killbox and lost the game.
It was Kane, actually. He tried
Oh, it was a
shooting
shoot.
me.
Okay,
Yeah,
either
and got
way.
knocked out of the kill box. It was his last activation. And I looked down and went, "Could you measure your kill box, please?" And he looked down and went, "Oh, you son of a bitch." It was a Madison guy, too, I believe. So,
Nice.
And
You guys drove down to Dice
Yeah, it was
Dojo
in
for it.
Dice Dojo. Yeah.
yeah, there was much anger.
I think not. I'm not sure if it was at the same tournament, but I had somebody who had a Mordecai, or no, not Mordecai, but more Neverlist. He ended up killboxing himself after he proceeded to reave-in my avatar, reave-in this other thing, reave-in my book, and just killed everything flat out. And then I noticed that he was just outside of the kill box. And I ended up, I was losing that game horribly, but yeah, I won because he kill boxed himself. That was unforgiving back in the day.
Yeah. Killbox is better now.
Bad things happen.
Wow.
I'm not sure where that's a reference to.
That's the slogan for
Malifaux.
Malifaux. So it's their,
Oh.
like,
That's what I was going to say, though, before we started on the podcast, that it was not known to the general viewing public or the general listening public that you actually played Malifaux for pretty much all of Mark 1 leading up into Mark 2, and you were one of the, what do they call them?
Henchmen.
Henchmen.
Did you guys like dig up all this information on
No.
Brian's past?
No, you posted it.
I did.
Yeah, you
Oh,
posted it.
yeah,
You said
that's right.
you said I was a henchman for
Yeah.
Malifaux release at
played a
2.0
lot
at
of
Gen
Malifaux.
Con.
We got in at before henchmen as a model were ever a thing. We were at the base level of Malifaux. So my baseless comments about the game being shit are not so baseless. I'd been playing basically since day maybe 5, as far as it's not day 1 for sure, but very close to it. And I did become a henchman for the Baraboo Madison lacrosse area because I had moved to lacrosse during this time for school, and I played all the way up until in
Just after the
2013.
release
Yeah, in
of
2013, we volunteered with Weird at Gen Con. And that was when the 2.0 rules were first available for purchase with all their other plastics. Shortly thereafter that, I started to get out of the game after it just kind of fizzled for me. Like the changes that were made didn't make the game better, in my opinion, which is completely fine for me to have.
You're ignorant.
Yeah, exactly. I know
It's
nothing.
true, really.
I am like Jon Snow with vaginas.
Wait,
New
do you-
stuff.
Jon Snow's it's Game of Thrones spoilers. You should put that up there.
Oh yeah.
I just visualized literally Jon Snow with vaginas. So it's like just Jon
Sounds
Snow,
like
but
vagina
he-
bats, or
No, he's just covered in vaginas. Like
Yes.
he has multiple vaginas all over his body.
so.
That's-
That's how
the
my
next
brain
book.
works.
I guess that's how neckbeards function. So
That's why it's
that's
so popular at the watch.
that's my background for being in Malifaux. Now, since we're more of a comedy-directed podcast and extremes are fun to talk in, I think that I'm perfectly fine with saying the game's shit.
I think legitimately you have the right to talk about it because you've played it. I mean,
Exactly.
and we played a little bit of Guildball before this, so we can talk about that.
Yep.
a
So
little
I
bit
can
next.
tell everybody I'm an expert in Guildball.
Exactly, you won. So
I did.
Yeah.
First game.
Everybody
table
wins
dancing
their
like-
first
Yeah,
game.
everybody wins their first game, Brian. Come on. He is a pundit.
Is
I'm
that how
not
you
a
do
pundit
it?
yet. I'm
But he's-
still waiting to hear back from them on that.
But he is
I
somebody
understand
who's-
how the game is played, though. So.
Well, when I was a Malifaux henchman, I tabled noobs all day. I was like, "Welcome to this game. Get the fuck off my
he actually
table."
did play very well. He legitimately won. I may have pointed out a couple things that led to him winning. But
Maybe, but we don't remember that.
No. So, but so I was pretty heavily in War Machine for quite a while, and at times I would get bored of War Machine. I'd pull a Brian and would quit for a little while and would do different things. So I went into Malifaux for a little while because it was shiny and Mark 1 and played for a
The
while.
models are so pretty.
The Mark 1 models were sort of pretty.
Yeah.
They were a bitch to fucking
were
assemble.
they were
They were
extremely
not as nearly as bad as the Mark II ones are.
They were
Really?
extremely unique for what was out on the
Yes.
market at the time. I don't go ahead and finish your story of your transition into Malifaux, and I'll
Sure.
give you mine.
So, and the thing about the models too is I had just gotten done painting like all these like Bane Knights or like the same damn sculpt over and over and over again and getting so bored of it. And it was so nice to move into something where even if you had the same model, you would have different sculpts for each version of the model, and they had so much character to it. And even more so in the new version. The new version, the new plastics they have, like every one of them has so much character, and they're just beautifully made and really beautifully put together models that are incredibly hard to assemble because a lot of the pieces are ridiculously small. Like you'll have a face that's got 5 parts for a face.
I remember putting together. I can't remember the name because I actually played Malifaux as well too. So not as much as you guys, but I played a couple games. It's the one with the little baby with the scissors behind.
Cade.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, man, getting those scissors to be attached on was other than I could just glue it on, but I like to pin everything.
Yeah, you can't pin the Malifaux now. It's just not possible.
No, that's why you just use the chemical glue. And
Pretty much, you have to fuse everything together. But they definitely have been moving towards better to put together plastics with more or less parts.
Well, I did
recently.
see one of the things they finally did was now they have a section on their website for the instructions of how they go
Yep.
together. So there's one resource for it, which
Oh.
is nice too.
They started doing that with when 2E came out, like a little bit after that. So it
Yeah.
might have been just after you quit.
Probably.
But
Why doesn't Guildball have that? Why did?
it really should. It's not that bad. Most of the models are like 2 or 3 parts, so it's really not that tricky. I mean, if
It's
you
nice
can't
to
figure
have a
out where the
picture of
keg
reference,
attaches to the belt of the guy, there's like an indentation of where you put it in. So
I assembled a Fisherman's Guild
Okay.
and I think Butchers.
okay.
It would have been because he was a Kador player primarily, I think.
Yeah.
So Butchers and Kador, it's just
Are there
it's
bakers or
synonymous.
candlestick makers yet?
Bakers make a hum. That seems legit. Have cakes that explode on the table and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
They pie people.
But surprise pop out of the cake. There's so many possibilities.
yeah.
The game just writes itself.
Exactly.
So,
It does.
But I mean, just to jump back to Malifaux real quick. What?
No.
Sorry, I know you're bored as all hell.
No, we're tangent. This is how we work.
Yes,
Have you listened to our
I have
podcast?
listened to the podcast several times, but
Floating vaginas.
so in Mark 1, there was all these casters and settings where you could just put together things, and 90% of the time you'd win. I mean, and you would have situations like what you were talking about last week, where you would because you build your army at the beginning of it, you could sit down and say, oh, I'm playing against this faction. I can just put together these models, and all of a sudden I win. It's just automatic. There's very little chance of you winning this with these scenarios and stuff like that. They fixed a lot of that in 2.0.
There was a 1.5 in the middle. Don't forget
true.
that.
There was a 1.5, and it was slightly less crap. But second edition, they fixed a lot of that. And actually, one of the things I always talked about when I was selling, trying to convince people to buy into Malifaux because I need people to play with, was that you build the people when you sit down. I really liked the fact you build the list when you sit down. You had to kind of build your list there. And that's actually one of the things you were talking about. Guildball does the same thing.
Yeah, I have been corrected several times by many people.
Well, it's similar. I mean, you don't get the whole faction. You do get a sideboard, though.
Yeah,
you
like
get,
two
two guys that you can do, and you can be more. But they have different types of tournaments where you can either have 6 guys, then you have a fixed team, or you have a sideboard, and you can either build your list in Secret and then reveal it, or actually what's kind of cool is they have a you reveal a character, I reveal a character thing going back and forth, so it's kind of like a meta game trying to figure out what the person's going to pick next from their sideboard and what they're not going to pick. So it's kind of cool. They have several different varieties of ways that you can match things up and play the game. So it's similar, but I don't know. The entire thing with Guildball is they took parts from almost every game out there and added it, bolted onto War Machine and simplified War Machine a little bit and stuff like that to make it better in a lot of ways.
Something that somebody were talking words and sentence. So
Sorry.
we're discussing this.
I know that was boring and on topic. Yeah.
Blah. The make army when play game thing that Malifaux has. They're saying that that's a big fuck you to new players.
It can be.
Because they, number one, won't own their entire army, and number two, won't have their entire army memorized.
I'll say one of the things they did in the second edition that was good was the boxes that they release are pretty solid right out of the box as armies. You may want to like switch in 1 or 2
They had
guys.
the same thing with 1 and 1.5 though. You got the box and it was, something you played with right away, and then they had suggestions on how to build further.
Sure. You had to usually add a few other things to it though to make it work. Whereas in 2.0, I think they did a better job of like making it as a cohesive whole. That was my feel on it, was that you could pick up one army and work with it pretty well. So it was okay for new players in that way, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of masters and a lot of stuff in Malifaux that are. It is hard for.
Could we just
new
talk
people.
for a second
About
about
One
how
Punch
I
Man?
was promised a new Karis sculpt for fucking ever ago, and they finally released the plastic box, and there's still no additional sculpt for her
They
yet.
had the perfect
There's
thing
3
for
sculpts
that.
for her now.
Where's the
third one?
Yeah,
There's a clear plastic one. I count that.
that's
right there.
not
You
that.
don't
no.
get to count that
Yeah,
shit.
Nope.
that's bullshit.
It
There's
is.
at least 2, and they are pretty badass.
No,
sculpts.
so the first one, she was like the henchman. She was great, and I always played
I like
Karis.
her too, actually.
But then there was that like summer.
It was a summer worldwide league.
where the faction that won was going to get their henchman was going to get a new sculpt, and Arcanists won, and then all of a sudden plastics come out. There's still no Karis box set for some time, and no additional sculpt.
It was one of the last
and
ones to be
there's
released.
still no additional sculpt.
Well, let's just talk about how they had the perfect opportunity.
Misfire.
Misfire. They're all of Malifaux's, like, they do their special con releases where it's usually what it had typically first been was a gender shift.
Yep.
So Johann was Johanna, even though she wasn't part of that thing. I understand she's part of a different
Santiago?
deal. Santiago was one of them.
Or
No,
the
she
dead.
wasn't. She
Like,
was
they
a
took the
special one.
whole Lady Justice faction and made like a.
Well, yeah, it
Dead
kind of went
versus
through this
box
weird
set.
thing where at first it was
I think
we're
I
gonna
still
like
have
shift
that.
the
pretty
dead
valuable,
things.
actually.
Then there was the Nightmare box or the Nightmare Lord
Lots of
Chompy
coloring
bits.
books.
Yep, all the coloring books.
But they always called it Miss something, like Miss Demeanor was one of them, and she
Yeah.
was a convict
Pack?
gunslinger.
Miss
Miss
Step.
Pack was another one that they would slip
It's
in, and
very
a special
clever.
nurse. They had the perfect opportunity because Karis was the fire mage. They could have done Misfire, nothing. I think because people said it so much and beat them down with it, they said no, we're not going to do it.
You didn't paint the sky blue.
Yeah.
Or
that
so
house
they-
is not candy enough.
Well, that's not the witch's candy
looks like
house.
the witch's
that's Little
candy
Red
house.
Riding
It's
Hood.
grandma's house.
Is that Grandma's house?
My
Yes.
grandmother's house was out in the woods half an hour from the village.
I didn't read the
Red
text.
Riding Hood.
I'm sorry. I
Fucking
apologize.
axe there that they used to disembowel the wolf later.
It does have blood on it, so that does
No,
that's
that's
legit.
what an axe looks like. My colors
They
might
color it
be
in
backwards.
blood.
But that could be blood as well.
It's a big pile of log-like blood.
I have so many crayons to work with, okay?
So the reason why I got into Malifaux in the first place was that I had played a lot of 40K. That was the war game that what introduced me to the world of
I
wargaming.
can't help him with that. Yeah.
It was what was around at that time. Like all these specialist games in a small town, that doesn't mean shit. It's the big games that get the big the big presence on the internet for the most part. So like if you went to a website that said, I want to know about wargaming, it was Daka Daka and Bolter and Chainsword. These were the sites you would find, so that's what small town people played. It was the big games that had a lot of support. Malifaux came in, and Amanda used to play Magic with me all the time. You know, it was fun that we could be a couple and enjoy the hobbies that we had together.
Always compete for first in a draft.
Yep. So then,
Bullshit.
she just never had the interest to play 40K because it
played
was
40K
this was
though.
at the very first point.
Yeah.
It was before your demon thing, but
Finally killing Nathan.
yeah, I know it's just bad.
I'm watching his soul slowly leave his body as we talk about things that are on topic. Penis, penis, penis. Is that better?
Why would you think I would want penis?
Every
For
episode I've
obvious
listened to this show.
Yeah. Basically,
It seems
you're-
legit.
We're gay. You're gay.
Nathan?
I was just thinking, because you mentioned misdemeanor, and I was thinking of that 1980s cartoon show that I watched that was called Cops, which stood for Central Organization of Police Specialists.
Indeed.
And I had the toys, and they had like cap guns and shit, and there was a villain in there named Misdemeanor, and she was awesome.
Yeah. So
There's a villain in-
And there's the guy with the two guns in his chest.
There's a villain in Sentinels called Misinformation.
Yeah, misinformation. That's a big one.
Great. And that's Malifaux. The end.
You're so beat. It's okay. Take a nap.
Hey, Nathan, tell us all about salsa.
Salsa.
Also, oh, I do
I like
have something.
salsa.
You
The
can
dance
rant.
or the...
I have something you can rant about
The
for a
dance of
minute.
love.
I found the perfect pizza for you at Toppers. The perfect
This is
pizza.
a trap.
It is great. So you get a pizza, and
I
they
hope
put
so.
they put cheese and onions and drizzle mustard,
Oh.
and then load it up with brats, cut up brats. Guess what the sauce is?
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Wait, what is it? Because I think I'm going to say fuck you as well.
Ketchup.
Oh, dear God. Fuck you. That is not a valid pizza sauce.
Fuck you.
I wanted to get you a 6-inch one and just bring it to watch.
I'm going to burn Toppers down. There's a Toppers on my way home. Police, if you're watching this later, you can call this Exhibit A. I'm burning Toppers down tonight.
I just wonder if they have just a big tube of Heinz that they pour on it, or is it really bad in Hunt's ketchup?
You don't fucking put ketchup on brats.
Well, it's not on the brats.
You don't
It's
put ketchup on pizza
it's in
either.
between.
You don't put
Neither
ketchup on
pizza
anything.
nor
Ketchup is
brats.
horrible.
Even if you're a psychopath or one of these deluded fools who puts ketchup on French fries and hamburgers and shit like that, you don't put ketchup. You don't put ketchup on brats, and you won't put ketchup on pizza. So why would you put ketchup on a brat pizza?
It might be called a britza, but
Is it called an abomination? Because that's what it fucking is.
when I looked at it, the
It
first thing that
sounds-
turned me off was the mustard. But
No, there's many things that turn up. Ketchup should be the first thing that turns you off because that ketchup is the worst thing in the world.
I have a
next to
video
mayonnaise.
for you to watch later.
I do not want to watch
Neither
that video.
pizza nor
It does sound amazing minus the ketchup. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if you could take off the ketchup and put on sauerkraut.
put some kraut. Yeah, sauerkraut is
Maybe
great
it's
on
topped
pizza.
with sauerkraut instead of cheese. That's the one thing I couldn't remember.
Ever since I've discovered sauerkraut on pizza, that's what I'll do is I'll go to Papa Murphy's and I'll get pizza and I'll take it home, and before I
kraut
bake
on?
it, I'll put some kraut on it. It actually,
I can see that.
Do you like
actually.
Hawaiian style?
Not particularly. I mean,
Do you like banana peppers? Do you like any kind of sweet toppings on your pizza? Because that's what the kraut does. Is it gets that sweetness to it. So if you like, you should try instead of ham and pineapple like Hawaiian is, do
Yeah.
ham and kraut. Or sausage, sausage and kraut or whatever, but it actually is really good.
depends how juicy it is.
You have to drain the kraut. You don't want to get the
I
crust soggy.
I don't like juicy pizza.
You do not. Yeah, you have to drain the kraut. You don't just pour the can on.
Yeah,
there.
just
Yeah, that's where you turn them upside down and slit their throats, right?
Yeah.
That's I was laughing at the entire time.
I thought it was just you suck their dick a lot. Like,
maybe,
you really
yeah.
have to drain that crowd.
There are different ways to drain the crowd.
Yeah. Well, that you do that, and then you do his version. So it's is it worth it or not? No, but
Well, the thing is, though, the good thing about these specialist pizzas that you get here is you can order one without a certain topping. I'm intrigued by the brat pizza.
it could be good.
I am very
Ketchup
intrigued
sauce.
by it.
You don't put ketchup on brats or fucking pizza.
Or
Granted,
anything.
I don't put ketchup
That's
on my
fine,
brats
but I
either.
understand that you and I are in an elevated plane above the plebeians who still put ketchup on food
Yeah.
because they're dumb and wrong.
Yes.
Also, if you are an idiot who puts ketchup on things, take your ketchup out of your fucking refrigerator. It's not
Yeah, it's
supposed to
not
be refrigerated. It's
refrigerated.
supposed to be room temperature.
Let me go check to see if there's a Facebook group for ketchup so I can point them to this.
They can fucking download us. You suck ass. When I was a kid, they had that Ketchup Kid book series, and I fucking hated it on principle.
what?
There's some kid who solved crime and he loved ketchup. It was stupid.
That's
they exist. Google it. But it can fucking sell because
That
ketchup
just-
can fucking
I
sell.
don't
just
want
sounds
to.
like
I
the
don't want
Hardy
to give any
Boys.
credit to them.
Yeah, it's the Hardy Boys, but there's only one of them, and he
No.
really liked ketchup. That was the gimmick.
It wasn't the Hardy Boys. It was the Heinz Boys.
The Heinz Boys, yeah. Well, at least we can maybe agree on Heinz is really the only ketchup that should exist.
And killing Germans.
The Hunts Boys.
Hunt's
They're-
is not good.
Ketchup loving kid detective is a thing I can Google.
just the
Of
Ketchup
course
Kid.
it's a
Just
thing
do-
you can Google.
He might not have even been a detective. Just Google the Ketchup Kid. That's what it was called.
If you go up on Urban Dictionary, I'm sure you could find something there related to it as well.
Was he a pursuer?
Did they make the Uma Thurman joke from Pulp Fiction for the Fox Force 5?
I'm just trying to think that Hunt's Ketchup missed an opportunity if they never did a parody commercial where
Words.
defecting Russian submarine commander never insisted that there could only be that brand of ketchup because it would be the Hunt's for Red October.
Isn't it Heinz?
Hunt's
No,
is
no,
a different
Hunt's is
brand.
another brand.
God,
That's the stuff like if you
that's
go
the
into a
competitor.
restaurant.
Hunt's is the shitty. Like it's not quite Roundy's generic, but it's bad. Like
Yeah.
that's the.
If
bad
you go
ketchup.
into a restaurant and see a bottle of Hunt's on the table, you get up and you walk out.
This shows you exactly how much I give a shit about
Your
ketchup.
uninformed
and
mind about ketchup should not be talking about it.
You're ignorant of ketchup.
I'm
Yeah.
completely fine with being ignorant of ketchup.
And you have a neck beard.
I
Although it's going to turn out
do
that
not
you were
yet.
you represented ketchup at Gen Con.
I
That's
did.
how not ignorant you are.
I did win ketchup Gen Con 2014. It was one of the biggest moments of my life, really.
If you could wear a ketchup costume at Gen Con, Nathan could wear a mustard costume.
And then you could fight.
battle.
That'd be everything I hate.
fucking ketchup.
Go in the foam sword fighting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I know what burnt ketchup smells like, and I just cannot know. I just can't imagine it. Because sometimes I put ketchup on my burger, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to put the cheese on. Better throw the cheese on, put it back on the grill, and then some of the ketchup will go down to the fire, and then it's really
Well,
bad.
caramelized so fast, so high in sugar.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just not good smelling. That's for sure. But
You
yeah,
just put the cheese underneath the burger so that it still would melt.
yeah,
You
and
don't
then
need
I
to
could put the
grill.
burger on the grill.
I still have the anecdote
With the
of
cheese on
the
it.
first time my eldest brother was, my dad would do the grilling, and then he was going to grill, and so he put the burgers on the grill, and then he put the cheese on top of the burgers, and then 5 minutes later he went to flip them, and it was sad. He just stared at him for a while.
That's how you make a cheeseburger.
Wait, at them. So he got through more of them and then went.
Well, no,
Oh.
he put 10 burgers on the
Yeah.
grill,
Yeah.
and raw patties, and he put 10 slices of cheese on top of them, and then
Oh,
5
just
minutes
raw
later,
patties. Okay.
yeah, the patties were still raw.
Okay, they're
So
right.
it was
Okay.
step 1, put raw patties on. Step 2, put cheese on raw patties. Step 3, wait 5 minutes. Step 4, go to flip. Weep.
I thought you were talking about how he put cheese on all of them and then flipped them, but he
He didn't get to the flipping. He
Yeah,
was like,
okay.
oh.
all right.
So I do want to just say a few things about Malifaux.
Oh my God!
I tried to change the subject. I
It was the
tried.
ketchup brand. I let Nate have his moment,
No.
and now he's charged up
Damn
again.
it, we're back on topic.
So
I'm going to
Salsa.
link this episode on the Malifaux Facebook page.
that's fine. They can
Nathan.
see it for all I care.
Salsa. It's just clearly inferior to tomato sauce.
They're two separate things.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
which one I'd rather put on my
there's people-
tortilla chips, and I know which one I'd rather put on my spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody wants a salsa rant. That's salsa rant. Go. That's salsa rant or about a rant on purse dogs.
Well, salsa is Spanish for sauce. Ketchup is technically a
dogs,
sauce. You got your rant.
Purse dogs.
Like-
Little yapper type dogs, like Mr. Dog.
Yeah, like
fruit-based salsas?
Paris Hilton's dog.
Fruit-based salsas? I mean, tomatoes are a fruit, but I mean, what type of salsa? Is it have to be the tomato-based thing? Or
Yeah. Does it have to be...
like a pineapple salsa, is that acceptable?
Oh, man. Have you had the peach mango salsa?
Yes.
From Target?
No, but yes, I've had peach mango salsa. I have to get the Target
Have
one.
you had peach salsa, or have you had mango salsa, or
I've
have you
had
actually had
both.
peach mango as one thing? Because the only time I've found that is the Market Pantry brand at Target.
Market
and that's
Pantry's
the only
amazing.
reason to go to Target is to buy Market Pantry brand peach
They do
mango
have good
salsa.
stuff.
And
I'll have to try
popsicles.
that. I've had that combination before. It must have been at a party or something like that, because
Maybe.
I don't remember buying Target salsa ever. But
Market Pantry
peach pineapple?
is amazing. Yeah. We talked about this when Jim was on
Jim
the
recommended
podcast.
it 2 houses ago.
Yeah, it is. It's the best off brand ever.
it is pretty good.
It's its own brand. It's its own existence. There's my word.
own plane of existence.
Fuck you. And you want to talk about
So Malifaux.
I was just saying, like to credit the game, I'll say that the world they've constructed is great. I love the background, the fluff. The characters are super like rich. The aesthetic appeal of their game through their miniatures and their artwork is phenomenal. Like if it weren't for the fact that their scale is really low for what I would like out of the game, like if they bumped the scale up a bit to make the models bigger, I'd like them a lot more. They'd be easier to paint, easier to put together, and just look better on the table. They would be some of the best in the business if it weren't for just that. But when it comes to the game, it is just not what I would consider a good game. I feel like I often am playing the table more than I'm playing my opponent. And I often feel that we're both playing
Brian
two
is
different
quoting me.
games.
Well,
Right
and that's
now.
because of the whole
That's
the
my
mechanic
opinion.
where you don't have the same victory condition.
You do.
So-
There's varying ones. You get 2 different ones, and then I think it's 2 or 3 side ones.
Yeah, you share a victory condition, but you also have 2 other victory conditions that can either be, depending on you can either hide it and get less points for it if you achieve it, or reveal it and get more points, which actually I think is one of the
But
coolest
you don't
mechanisms
have
of
to
the
achieve
game.
the shared one. Like you can win the game just doing your own conditions, right?
You could, but it's the total amount of points you have. So you kind of have to play all of the things to achieve it. And some of the crews will work better at certain achievements. And some of them are really, really good at defeating that type of achievement, like getting schemes and stuff like that of certain types.
So, like, to put it in War Machine terms, it'd be like if you were playing with an achievement of geometry control that you would have brought in the past, like Denegra.
Yeah.
Denegra 2 would have been something that you would have made sure that was in your force if that was
Right.
one of your side objectives.
Well, because that's the thing. It's like, to put it more into War Machine terms, it's where you don't have to worry about what the table is necessarily. Because, like, you're like, I'm playing Denegra. Also, every single game I ever play, my goal is going to be geometry control. Because you get to bring your schemes with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You do get to choose them.
And I'll say that Brian, the other Brian, would be the best Malifaux table setter-upper ever.
He would be. That is another good point of the game, is that the tables look amazing when you're wanting to play on them. It's not just a few pieces of terrain here. The whole table has a bunch of terrain on it. It's very dynamic. Also, another reason why I don't like that is because each one of those pieces has a different type of effect on the game, and you have to define like height values for
Yeah.
cover and everything. So
To some degree, yeah.
and in War Machine, it's really nice because I know that this large base is that volume, that's medium base is that volume, and that small base is that volume. But in Malifaux, I could have a large base thing that's a height 2 model, and I could have a medium base model that's a height 3. It's fluid. It doesn't matter. They're different between the two of them. There's no set rule. And when it comes to trying to be like, I'm going to shoot you behind this cover, and you're like, well, I'm height 3, but this cover is height 2, so that's -1 on your flip. But if it was height 1, it's something else. And it's just, there's so much to remember with how the terrain functions in the game that it's just so convoluted, and there's too many things to remember. It's not that I don't like it because it's too complicated or I can't function at that level. There's just too much going on to the point that I lose track of the game.
Yeah, and I will say that War Machine, if you talk to most new players and things like that, they don't have any conception of what the height rules are. Hell, I have to be reminded of them
barely
half
come
the
up.
time because it's like, when does that block line of sight? When can I shoot over that hill? How much of a bonus do I get for being on that hill? What if there's a wall on it? What if someone put a
Who put a wall on a hill? Fuck that
if someone
guy.
put water in it and then a
one
hill?
plays with
Yes,
water.
exactly. So
So Brian's got a hill that has a water feature,
Yes.
has difficult terrain, and a wall around it.
it's
with a
glorious.
forest.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a hill that's half water, half forest, and then you put a wall on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also good when he puts two buildings right in the middle of the scenario, and then you're playing an incorporeal army. It's great.
The one of the other things about the
Shut up about Malifaux!
game- No, I'm trying to show these people a good service,
Can we just
and that
talk
I'm not
about the
just ignoring
neckbeards?
them.
You have
But
to
this will
tell-
be my
you have
last,
to
my
tell the
last, my
neckbeard
very last
story.
point about Malifaux.
I have a small
Done.
point. I want to make a Malifaux too.
So,
Nathan.
so a good thing about the game is the way that it is set up, the way that the models work and interact, is that you get to engage a lot of the table, which in War Machine you don't get to do that. You're really like, if you put terrain in the back 12 inches or 20 inches of the table, it does nothing. Doesn't even matter.
Sure.
So that is another good thing. But the game in general is a death of 1,000 paper cuts for someone who wants to play a more melee, punchy army, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
in my
it's
opinion.
definitely a finesse game as opposed to, although there are certain crews that just hit you really, really hard. But you're completely right on that. That it can, the terrain being such a big part of it, and a lot of times you're right. You are playing the table as well as playing the opponent. And
I think you're more often playing the table as opposed to your opponent. Like, there's more engaging what's going on
You
around
and
you.
your opponent
less...
are both playing the table.
Yeah, you're not playing against your opponent at that rate. You're both trying to achieve your own thing, and at the end of the game, it's like, who did their thing better?
Well, and it's not. I mean, with War Machine, a big part of it is kill your opponent. Yes, there may be objectives, there may be steamroller that you're doing, but in Malifaux, it's much more. You've got a steamroller objective, then you have too many steamroller objectives that you're trying to do, and that's what you care about. They may involve killing the opponent. The opponent may just get in the way. You may just walk by each other and go, "Hello, I'm doing this over here." Pay no attention to me and go on with your business.
Yeah.
So, it's a good game. It's I've kind of gotten a little bit tired of it, and it's got really, really competitive in my area, and that's fine. And there's a lot of people who are really good at it in my area, but I just kind of moved on to 15 other games because that's what apparently I do. So
Yeah, and I've
Also, it's only neckbeards that play.
yeah, I have had a neckbeard at times, but I shaved and I realized that I can't play that game anymore.
Let me say something though too. There is a difference between a neckbeard and a
Yeah.
beard.
That's a
Yeah.
that's a glorious.
Neckbeard is like you have no mustache and you just have this.
you're hiding your
No,
double.
Now
chin.
you're going.
No,
That's
see, we're-
almost Amish.
We're talking about actual beards. A neckbeard is a person.
Yeah, neckbeard is a way of life.
Yes.
Well,
They're like the pedo.
Pedo?
They're like the people
Pedos,
with like
neckbeards?
dusty Cheeto fingers, and they wear the fedoras. And
Fancy
sometimes
enough
they
when
have
you
like
You
say
really have
anime
something
buttons.
against fedoras.
I do
They
have
get
something.
friend zoned.
They do get friend zoned,
That's true.
but not
Man.
really because it's not a real thing.
No,
No,
because
it's
the
a
thing
real
is, listen, Amanda. Here's the thing. Let's say I'm your friend. No, listen, Amanda. Let's say, for the sake of argument,
Okay.
that I'm your friend.
Let him tell you
For
how
the
girls
sake
work.
of the argument, we're
Right. Let's pretend.
Okay.
So for like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I'm your friend.
Okay.
You're supposed to have sex with me now. I've earned that.
Apparently, yes. You
Duh.
have put enough friendship
Oh.
coins in,
Right, yeah.
and now the
You've earned the
return is
credits.
sex.
I
At least
mean-
a blowy for holding the
It's
door
like an
open.
achievement. I mean, if you found all the
Yes.
unlockables,
Duh.
I mean,
Amanda's favorite phrase is, "I
pretended
put
to be-
friendship coins in and get out sex."
Yeah, that's what I said. Women are vending machines.
I
put
let you on the
friendship coins in
podcast
until they
twice
just
now.
That's at least.
That's at least.
Give him a foot job under the table. He's earned
wait,
that.
I'm getting out of the way.
One of the three of us is going to do that. You have to guess.
You know what? I'm fine anyway.
It's
Could
funny.
be anybody.
It could be anybody. That's why we have cameras.
So, okay. Were you?
Well, that
I'm
works
done.
regardless of gender. Like, Andy and I are obligated to dock.
Yeah,
Because we each
yeah,
owe
of
each
course.
other sex.
The
Because that's
docking
how
pee game.
friendships work.
Docking
Yeah.
P game.
No.
No, not the Donkey
You're alone
Key
on
game.
that one.
Way alone on that one.
Donkey Key game to see how much liquid you can fill before it explodes.
With yours, it would come out like a sprinkler system in like 20 different directions.
You have to pull someone from a burning building to
long
get
game.
that.
What's
I mean,
Oh, all right. Now, I'm not saying that this is something that Malifaux players do. It is a part of the mechanic that I have concerns with, considering in other gaming systems, it seems very easy for this to do. Stacking decks
Yeah.
and knowing where things are in your deck. How many times do
they're
you?
equivalent to using loaded dice. You know what I mean?
Correct.
You find somebody
Yeah.
who's doing that. Although you can't test a deck for being stacked.
No,
you
but
can-
I see it happen all the time in like Magic tournaments
Yeah.
or so. You can stack that deck. It's
Oh, yeah.
so easy to do.
Even if you're
I'm
not
watching-
stacking in the deck, you can count your cards.
well, that's legit in the
That's-
game.
that's fine.
That's actually something
But
you
no,
should
I'm
do as a
saying,
skill.
Like, that's a thing. Like there's less random and more like knowing what's going to happen.
Well, and that's actually one of the selling points for people who don't like dice is that you do have control. The Black Joker comes out, it's terrible, it ruins everything you're doing.
Whoa.
Yeah, racist, I
It's-
know.
it's very
Urban Joker.
Yes, the
The
as
other
opposed
one's
to the
the
red
other one's
Joker.
the red
Red
Joker.
Oh, whoa. Native. You have an urban Joker and a native Joker. For the
Exactly.
love of
I'm
God.
sorry. The Native American Joker comes out, and but if you have the
Indigenous
Black
peoples.
Joker, you can hold in your hand for the entire game. You have one less card to work with, but that's not going to flip out of the deck at any point. So it's a strategy thing.
Wait, the
how
Black
much?
Joker. Why are you holding on to the Black Joker?
Because then it won't be
You don't
flipped
want
out of the
to.
deck.
Because you
It's a
have
bad
to
thing
hold him
happen.
by the toe.
Why?
Yes. Oh God.
Oh man.
Wow.
So what I was trying to say about this before Nathan I think you broke Nathan. People on the chat was saying, "Do not do this. Do not break Nathan at all." They like Nathan. They like Nathan in serviceable condition. But when you break Nathan by holding him by his toe or something like that, that's
But if
bad.
he hollers, you can let him go. It's okay.
I see someone named Cheated Fates Joe. That's got to be a Malifaux person.
It most
think so.
certainly is.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Wow.
so
We
Are you
drew-
wearing a fedora?
We drew people to a live broadcast.
Are you wearing a fedora?
I'm sorry, Cheated Fates Joe. I know I'm not doing a very good job of representing the
The
game.
audience.
so what I was saying is that's part of the mechanic I don't like is the card flipping mechanic, and that's actually what got me out of the game. It just to me, like I said, it seems like it's too easy of an avenue for potential cheating, and that's almost my same belief about people who use casino dice that roll them improperly.
That's fair.
The ones that just slow drop it.
Yeah, they're just
You know
like,
what
I just
People
dropped
who
dice.
actively, you can see that they are shaking them. Like
Correct.
that's not
Or
an
you
issue.
throw them into your fancy dice tray made by the Wood Gaming War.
I just whip them overhand at my opponent's models.
Wood Making War Gaming.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, with metal dice.
The
That's
War
Gaming
always
War
awesome.
Gaming
Woodmaker.
Woodmaker.
Those like $400 fucking.
No, this is different. I got
what that Kickstarter that
that's the
Private Press is
Wormwood
like, yeah,
thing.
Wormwood.
They,
It's like,
they want to do an elite dice tray.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
that's what we need. Yeah.
Exactly.
Holy cow!
I still think that a great Kickstarter would be precision measuring tapes.
It would be because the people measure their stuff out, and it's like that metal tip on there.
Yeah.
that jiggles back and forth.
Exactly.
That's a
Oh,
good.
well, no,
that's a
it's
good
supposed to.
quarter inch.
It's
though.
supposed to be
Not
out.
in war games.
It's supposed to be that metal. Oh, sorry, that metal part.
God damn it,
so bad
Andy.
now. We broke Andy.
He threw something on the table. That's when you know he's bad. That was that.
also, I think
creative
he's about
vibration.
to be wrong.
Okay, let's listen.
I'm going to disagree.
That metal tip on the end of at the end of the tip
penis.
measure.
Penis.
If it has a little jiggle
That's
to
my
it,
girl.
that's the type of ones that are meant to catch
got a little
onto
wiggle.
other pieces,
Right.
On like a chunk of wood, and it basically is that's the full
So when
measurement.
it's taut.
It's supposed to be in if you were using it in War Machine style.
Correct. Yeah. What?
Because here's the thing: all tape measures have that jiggle.
Yep, that is a millimeter.
Because what
long
it
at
is
least.
when it's pushed inward, you're measuring to the outside of that metal. You're measuring the very end of where it is, because that's what you're supposed to use when you're pushing
Yes.
it like against a wall or
Yes.
something. So in War Machine, you would want it inward because you're measuring to that end point of it.
Correct.
When
Correct.
it pulls outward, you're measuring to the inside of the metal, and that's what you're supposed to use when you're hooking on something to
Yep.
measure
You hook it
it.
on like a table.
And so
or
that's the
something.
thing is like since if you're looking at the end of that metal but it's out, you're giving yourself an extra 64th of an inch.
Yeah.
Just a tip.
It is just a tip. So
I think getting to the deck stacking thing, one of the inherent mechanics that was so egregious in the game during the 1.5 era was Collodi. he was just a powerhouse of a guy, and it wasn't because part of it was because he could go where he wanted. He had distance for days because he was just like this crazy movie teleporting guy
Marionettes and stuff like
Yep.
that. It was a puppet master controlling marionettes and pulling things in and out, and yeah, that was dirty.
But the biggest problem with him was that you could go across the table, do whatever you want. Zareta could do it too. She'd fly 20 inches across the table. I'm pretty sure it was 20 inches.
About.
And just be like, oh, I'm in Raven form. This is a spell this is the spell or action I cast, and that's that. But once Collodi flung himself 14 inches across the table or more, he would burn through the entire deck. And this is why I say the death of 1,000 paper cuts, because if you sit there and you get 20 attacks and you're flipping on the negative flips where you take 3 cards and pick the lowest, you're going to do a little bit of damage to something, but eventually you're going to hit that red joker if it's not in your hand, and it doesn't matter what else is in there or how many negatives it is, you take that and it's the biggest damage roll you have.
Yeah.
So like there's ways the combat is skewed towards being good for a person who has multiple attacks and not quality.
This is me every day. I just check out when he starts talking.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever.
The end.
I bring class to this podcast.
So Guildball.
So we used to have Katie. Listen, no, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do, because it alliterates, and I've been thinking about this whole time in between praying for death. Not necessarily just mine. I've been
But
alternating.
the ketchup
fair.
pizza.
I am burning toppers down tonight. Exhibit B.
Can you wait
I can
until
help
I go
you.
get my ketchup pizza?
Fuck you. I'm gonna burn it down with you in it.
That's fine.
You're gonna have ketchup sauce on your
The
delicious
Do they
Malifaux
have
roasted
tomatoes?
pork.
We have to find out because they were out of tomatoes last week.
Yeah, the
and I was
Malifaux
devastated.
community will be
The Malifaux community was
for
out
you.
of
No, they'll
tomatoes.
love you for burning toppers down with
I'm
you.
going to link this episode on that Facebook group. I think this has been a fine episode. I would love to hear their input. Are you watching this? If you are, I told the truth.
I didn't.
I want Amanda's area. It's like Katie's corner. Well, no, I've earned that. I've been friends long enough that
okay.
I have earned Amanda's area.
Okay.
We're mashing
Yeah, you're-
genitals. No, we have Katie's corner. Amanda's area also alliterates.
Nice. I like it.
So
I listen
Yeah,
to
so
that.
talk
when,
about
when
something.
Amanda's
Oh, I don't know
on
what
here,
I'm
we
supposed
give
to talk
her
about.
Whatever
give
you
her-
want.
Oh, I've been playing Final Fantasy IX finally.
Nice.
But I'm not very far because I'm a very busy person and work is awful lately. But I am enjoying myself, and I look forward to actually just buying it on Steam so that I can like fast forward through most of the game because
There's-
those battles
Ignore
are awful.
random battles.
It takes
No,
forever.
I love random battles. I like
loading
No, the
time.
fact you
grind
can
for-
turn off
yeah.
them though in the new Steam version
No,
that's
I
coming
just
out.
no,
wanna,
you can just
like-
turn off random battles.
like,
you can't turn off the
speed
the
it up
load.
faster.
We
The
just want the
load
load time to
Oh.
She doesn't want to get rid of the battles. She wants to get rid of the load time to the battles.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that like I'm like, okay, attack, do some magic over here, and then it's like 30 seconds before someone does something. Fucking drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just like sitting there, like, okay, I guess I'll check my phone while I wait for people to do things.
In the old days, we didn't have phones to check. Well, we waited 4 minutes for the goddamn summon to start.
I just read a
No.
book.
Were you
All-
clockwise?
no,
Are there
all we
black
did-
waltzes yet?
Did I what?
Are there black waltzes?
I've killed all. Well, yes, I've killed all 3 of them so far. I'm still on disc 1 for sure,
God, I
but
love that
I think
game.
I'm like
Black
getting close
waltzes
to
are so
the
cool.
end.
Phoebe's so cool.
8 and
Black
9 are my
mages.
favorite.
They
Final
made
Fantasies,
those. They
by
made those
far.
battles that long for you to yell at your mom.
Bring me some
Mom,
Cheetos.
any
bring me
more
some
pizza
Cheetos.
rolls?
Yeah.
Yes.
Email me if you
Mom,
want
give me a
pizza
Capri
rolls.
Sun.
Click on this web zone if you want pizza rolls.
Just type /pizza and you'll get pizza rolls sent to you.
You want me to write slash fiction about pizza?
I do, actually.
hot.
I
I
would
will
read
fucking
it.
do that.
It could be
Could it be about
425
could it be
degrees.
about brat pizza?
Crippled
Serving
System
up-
Press.
Yes.
I will completely read that shit.
That's what I was. You were talking about Bebop, and all of a sudden in my head I was
Cowboy?
thinking about this. Well, Cowboy Bebop, but there's this awful fanfic out on the internet that's called Cowboy Bebop, and I have to find it because it's like 3 paragraphs long. But the person who wrote it has never seen Cowboy Bebop, so they wrote about Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles if he were a cowboy, and
That's
it's
legit.
just the best thing ever.
That seems like a legit thing. I mean,
It's
he's a
so-
cowboy and he's Bebop.
So
What's wrong with
bad.
that?
Nick was saying that he would mimic Knights of the Round, so then he can make sure he has a good bathroom pick.
Oh my god, yeah.
Any of those summon spells back then, Bahamut took forever too.
Yeah.
Well, and they kept
First
trying to
time
work
was
around
awesome.
it because, like, in 7, the summon spells took a month and a half.
Yeah.
In 8, the summon spells took a month and a half, but there was a mini game during the summon spell.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yep.
just mash the button.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Which is a
good.
great game.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And then, yeah.
Track and field, the game.
And I think 9 did a decent job because, like, 9, the first time you cast a summon, it takes forever. I don't
And
think
then
you
you
even
can shut
have
it
the
off.
summoner yet, do you?
I do, but she's got like 30 mana.
The
and
first time you
doesn't get
cast
anything.
a summon, like ever after getting it, it goes the whole time, so you can watch it go, oh, that's really cool. And then
Yep.
9 times out of 10, it takes a quarter of a second. Like if it's the Bahamut, it just shows the fire blast, and it just
Yeah.
has no spell.
That's
but
smart.
1 out of 10, it shows the full thing. But when it does that, it's a critical hit, and it does way more damage.
That
so
makes
you're
perfect
like,
sense.
oh, so you're happy to see it be long.
I know in
That's
10
smart.
you can shut them off. You can like
Yeah,
go
it's
in
your
your
choice.
menu.
Yeah, you can
and
skip 'em and
you get
stuff
to
like
watch the first one, and after that they're just all super short, and that's great.
Well, I was kind of okay with them being long because it only happened like maybe 1 out of 20 because it was critical hits, and so you were happy when it happened. It was like, oh yay!
What Final Fantasy was it where you had different ranks of people, like a back row and a front row, and you were switching people back and forward?
Many of
that
the
with a lot of
many
them.
of the Super Nintendo ones.
Okay, because it's been a long time since I played a Final Fantasy
In fact,
game.
I'm
So
like 7 and 9
fairly
might even do that.
confident they do. They
I
do
think
for sure.
9
I think
is what I'm
10's
thinking
the last
of.
one that does. The 10's the first one that doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
confident.
Yep. I think so.
I
too.
just
'Cause
remember
played
really
10, and
liking the
I
battle
didn't really like
system.
it as much as I should have.
9.
I enjoy
10's
10.
good. 10-2 is weird.
You guys missed
10-2
this,
is terrible.
This beautiful
Yeah.
rant that I went on Friday night because I finished 7. I've played 7 before and I've beaten it before, but I just finished it recently,
Meh.
which is why I moved on to 9. Yes,
Overrated.
exactly.
Overrated.
7
It's good.
is awful.
Let's
The-
talk bad
the
about
plot
7.
I won't
is
say it's
terrible.
awful.
Oh,
I'll say
the
it's
internet
overrated.
will be against
Oh, this
me
is
after
so.
this. Now, this
You
is-
think
this
Malifaux
is
people get
beautiful.
angry?
Oh,
I
Oh
will
my
have
god!
the world against me. I can go on for days about
I'm
how
with
okay,
you.
the characters are all flat.
Terrible.
There's no like personal development, and the story is just it's overdone. It's garbage. And the end, which is supposed to be like some great, this you don't know what happens. It's so fantastic and everything is so like intense. It's shit. It's like
I like the bait and switch that it turns out that the main character is just insane and none of the things he claims happened to him.
That
'cause
was
he's a
pretty good.
loser. Like I
Yeah.
like that was a good plot point.
And
the
then
whole
he woke
Cloud.
up.
What was the real guy's name?
Zach.
Zach. The Cloud Zach twist is pretty cool.
Yeah, although that then led to about
that gets
5
for-
spin-off games, which were terrible.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
It did lead off to one of my tattoos that nobody knows I have half the time.
I know you have it.
Do you have a
all the
Zach
time.
tattoo?
No, I have a tattoo in the middle of my hand that
Okay.
is blacklight reactive, and it's the Final Fantasy Soldier First Class symbol.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yep, just right there. That's where all that discoloration
He
and
also
scar
has a
tissue is.
Sephiroth on one of his legs.
No, it's
Or
not a Sephiroth. It's Inuyasha,
Is
okay?
it
It's
sexy
Inuyasha.
Sephiroth?
So it's Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Basically. With
It's
ears.
Sephiroth in a bathrobe.
Sephiroth.
bathrobe.
In a bathrobe, yeah. God
Stupid
damn.
sexy
They're all the
Sephiroth.
same. They're
Stupid
white-haired nerds.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
with a
all
big
right.
sword.
I
Or
have-
bow and arrow. Or
Yeah. Something, I don't
Overcompensating.
just
One
a little
has
bit.
It's when he
fancy
gets.
ears.
It's when he gets angry. It gets bigger. Like my penis. I'm so mad.
Zappity.
That's my erection face.
I don't
That's
know.
your erection face.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any.
Wait, what?
Did you tweet it?
I tweeted that we're broadcasting. I didn't actually say specifically Zappity Grumble.
Well, then while we're
What's
at
this
it, we
red
can
nub
talk.
coming out of the bottom of that keychain? I don't get it.
That's
I thought it
her-
was a
that's her
button.
staff.
Sailor Moon.
That's her
No, but
staff.
what's the
It's not
red
Sailor Moon.
nub?
Is that what she holds on
Have you
to?
never
Yeah, that's
seen
the
like
staff.
the pens that they have? When they transform, but in order to transform into one of the Sailor Scouts, they've got their little transformation pens,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and that's the bottom portion of it.
Is that
It's
like an
just
ink
really-
pen?
But it's a teeny tiny little nub.
Yeah, because that's what would be in her hand.
It's a super deformed
It's
pen.
Yeah.
That's not Sailor Mercury.
It's Sailor Mars. because
Sailor Mercury's
she's-
got the short little hair. Hot.
It's really, it's
And
really.
she's possibly
shit.
a lesbian.
Probably
Probably.
That's the motorcycle one, right?
no.
No, motor boating.
The motorcycle one is Sailor Uranus, and she is definitely
Yeah.
a lesbian.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
Only likes it in the butt.
we could make that another
That should be the title of the episode.
Nathan,
what I said.
Nathan. Well, there
Only
was a
Nathan
Nathan
likes
likes
it.
it in the butt.
I would
Malifaux
take
players
the butt
only
one.
like it in the butt.
Yeah.
Oh man, I did get a chance to play Guildball tonight.
I'm sorry.
It was all right. I
Shut up.
I did enjoy the game. But this
We're
is
not
a
getting
War
it.
Machine
I don't want to
podcast.
talk
We're
about
not
Guildball.
getting
It's
it.
a War Machine adjacent podcast, which I think Guildball's
talk about more
adjacent to
Sailor
War
Moon?
Machine.
Yes, let's talk about more Sailor Moon.
How about we talk about Sailor Scouts
Let's
bathing
talk
in
about
ketchup?
One Punch Man.
Yes.
What?
Because you finally finished
Haven't you
it.
talked
doing
about it
the-
before?
Oh,
The
it's so
podcast-
good.
No. Aren't you doing that for recommendations?
I already
No,
did. I'll do
he's
it.
got a different recommendation.
I don't like the show.
You haven't even watched One Punch Man.
Whatever.
He hasn't even seen
I've only
any
seen
of
the
it.
first
Flip
episode.
This table, it's so good.
Don't flip the table.
That's the
Yeah, then go
response you
watch
get.
it.
Like that last
Right
episode,
now.
like for a comedy, that thing had baller action sequences. That whole fucking last episode is amazing.
See, my issue is that I was let down by Nathan's last cartoon recommendation.
Which one?
Which was?
It's not a cartoon, okay?
Well, I want to know what the last
Gosh.
cartoon recommendation was.
You know what it is.
No, I
It's
don't.
BoJack.
Yeah, BoJack
I'm having a
is,
hard time getting into it.
I haven't watched it yet.
I liked it. I liked BoJack, but it wasn't the second coming that you presented it as. Which you did present it as.
I
You
kind
pretty
of
much
did.
present it.
Amazing. Yeah, I think it's fucking amazing.
I also, speaking of cartoons,
It's not like it's not the funniest. Like that's the thing. Like BoJack's weird because it's not the second. It's not the great comedy. Like it's not like, oh my god, this is an amazing comedy. It's the second coming, and it's like, oh my god, this is the deepest drama. It's the second coming. It's just such a great blending of comedy and drama. It's so
it feels
real.
like
It's a good show.
they-
I like it.
Except for the
They
horse.
try to hit on those like Daria vibes. They just don't get there.
Ah, Daria.
Man, except I feel like
Jane.
Daria has those vibes, but with like Nerf guns, and BoJack will shoot you in the fucking face with a shotgun every once in a while.
I have the best. I have the best Zappity Grumble. Are we going to that, or are you guys going to talk about One Punch?
The only thing I want to say real quick is I tried.
No
Amanda
more
and
Malifaux.
I tried to watch Archer because I thought like, oh, I might as well just try and watch it because the creator's a War Machine person.
Yeah.
He
So-
painted one of my Vanguards.
Fancy. So I tried to watch it, and I cannot. Amanda, I think, echoed this, or either that, or was the progenitor of this statement. That
Very often am, and Brian just steals
that-
everything I do.
that's why I'm so entertaining on this podcast because I just
Exactly.
reiterate what you say, like Malifaux sucks. But
I said that.
I can't get over the fact
That's a direct
that
quote.
Archer is Bob's Burgers guy.
Yeah, I definitely said like I
Excuse
can't
me.
watch it and not see Bob's Burgers.
You mean Archer is the son from Dr. Katz?
Whoever it is, I know him as
Dr.
Bob
Katz.
from
Yeah.
Bob's Burgers.
Dr. Katz was so good.
He was also Coach McGurk.
Yeah, he was.
Oh God!
I mean, it's no the critic, but
Coach McGurk.
I
It's spaghetti time, bitches.
Oh, you just remind me. He's also great in something else that it just occurred to me is going to have to be my second recommendation because I need to recommend it. True story. I think I like BoJack more than you because I suffer from the same form of depression that BoJack has. So like it hits me really honestly.
sad.
Sure.
Like the kind of depression you don't want to acknowledge.
Yeah, the passive nihilism.
Yeah,
You know?
I guess so.
You know, like I don't have the active nihilism of somebody like Rick from Rick and Morty where like nothing
Yeah.
matters, so let's do hookers and blow.
Yep.
You know, it's just
that's
the
a good kind of
active
life,
nihilism
though.
is well, except they I don't know. People who are active nihilism blows.
Fucking nihilists.
Nihilism is terrible.
They were
You know,
Nazis?
like yeah. Nazis. But man,
Nazis
you know what really
do?
sucks is not
Nazis
thinking
pissed
anything
on-
matters.
Pissed on your rug?
The Chinaman is not the issue here, dude. Oh well. What's your Zappity Grumble that's so amazing that you're peeing yourself?
I thought you guys going to
Who's
One
it
Punch
from?
Man.
Huh? One Punch Man. It's
Well,
really good.
There's one person who hasn't seen it, and Ben's only seen one episode. So,
I'm lame.
Yeah. Are we okay? So we're waiting until I've marathon
which
through this.
means you just need to watch it all. You could
You
really
can come
watch it
over
all
and
in
watch
one
it.
day.
It's
We can,
12
like,
episodes.
watch it.
Yeah,
I
and they're
haven't-
like what 30?
on
Not
Hulu.
even
It's on
30
Hulu.
minutes.
It's free on Hulu.
Well, they're like
actually.
22 or whatever. It's free on Hulu and
The
it's
point
free
is,
on
I
their
would enjoy
website
sitting
too.
through it again.
Their website has every episode for free. I would watch it again. Yeah.
Yeah, it grabbed me like Assassin Classroom did.
Assassin Classroom's pretty good too.
Yeah.
We still haven't finished Kill la Kill, so maybe we should actually do that sometime.
I like when girls cosplay as the character from Kill la Kill.
Yeah, that's
I'm
pretty
sure
because
great.
then I
you do.
masturbate like until I chafe. Like holy shit.
And then they kick you out of the con.
Well, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Well, you just have to cosplay
I'm
as that
cosplaying as
the,
a guy.
as the no,
As
the,
a guy.
The guy from Dragon
guy-
Ball.
No, not the Dragon Ball guy. The GIF with
Which one?
with the
old
Lonely
man.
Island, the
Yeah.
Lonely Island
Wait,
Boys
wait.
GIF.
It's not Jif.
I jizz in my pants.
It's not Jif. It's GIF.
GIF.
Choosy
Jif.
moms
It's
choose
GIF.
It's
It's
GIF.
GIF.
It's GIF.
It's GIF.
You can all shut up. It's GIF.
It's GIF.
GIF.
It's
Graphical interface.
Yes,
graphics.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get
it's
that.
GIF.
Why-
You're
why
old,
not
But
both?
it's GIF.
It's GIF.
It's GIF.
GIF.
The only argument for pronouncing it GIF is that the creator said it was, and fuck that, death of the author.
It makes
Once it's out there,
more sense
it
to
makes-
say GIF.
Why?
It rolls
Name
off the
one-
tongue easier.
That is
GIF
not a valid
sounds
argument.
like I'm trying to say gift, but it's just like,
No, it
here's a
doesn't.
gift I got
They
for
usually
you.
are GIFs. They usually involve cats doing silly
You
things.
could be the jizz in my pants.
Hey, guess what percentage of single-syllable words beginning with G have it pronounced as a soft J sound?
1. 'Cause-
Yeah, like fucking gin is like the only one.
Which is a pretty important one, especially when it's with juice.
It's the worst alcohol.
Laid
It
back.
tastes like
With my
Christmas
mind on
trees.
the
Yeah,
money,
it's
money
GIF.
on my mind.
You're wrong. Anyway, yeah, we should watch One Punch Man. You like it.
All right, I'll marathon it tomorrow.
Punch! Opening theme song's really good too.
It is really good.
All right, do you want it, Nathan?
Yeah, sure.
Here's your Zappity Grumble.
Assholes. You're already
Just-
an asshole, I can tell.
Just for you, a fuck, marry, kill.
Who's this from?
Red Wolf 6.
I don't even know who this is.
7,
It's going to be me catching
Red
They
Wolf
have numbers in their name.
6879.
They have numbers in their name.
Red Wolf 6879.
Yep. Zappity Grumble, just for you. Fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah. Is ketchup one of them?
Ketchup,
Gotta
me,
be
and
ketchup.
Malifaux.
Nope. Rancor, Magnus Adjust, or Sevwall.
Oh, God, who is... Man, this person knows way too much about me. I was just thinking of Sebwall the other day because I was in some old locked rules forum thread and he was in there and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that guy's fucking gone. Oh,
That's several.
You don't have to
Christ.
answer this, Nate. I mean, just more so the reaction was priceless.
fuck. No. I'll get through this. Oh, my God.
Somebody says that we could have a fuck, marry, kill episode. We should probably do that.
That would be
sometime.
pretty
That sounds
good.
like fun.
I'd listen to that.
It does.
I would participate.
Oh, it's Dan.
It's Dan?
Dan.
Skittle Dan?
Skittles?
Yeah.
So why is he Red Wolf random numbers?
I forgot that that's actually very similar to his
pissant?
Red
his
Wolf random numbers.
Why
Blizzard
is it
name.
Skittles?
He calls himself Red Wolf on there too. So I remember that now.
Red Wolf Skittles? Well, fuck you, Dan.
Now you're not going to answer.
Now you don't care about
it's
it.
So I can't answer. I can't decide. They're all so terrible. Like the thing is, there's no way I'm fucking Magnus the Just. Have you seen that guy in his little fox mask? He posted a picture of him
Yeah.
wearing like a fox mask, and it gave me nightmares.
That is.
Did you see that
I did.
thing?
Yep.
It's tormenting.
He's the king of the Merc forums.
Hey, my guess is that Dan was born in June 8th of 1979. We'll find out.
We're almost birthday buddies then. Okay, so I would kill Magnus the Just.
Okay.
As a, or you know what? No, I could marry him, but we'd never have sex or touch each other or have the same bedroom or anything.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of
So
internet
marriage.
famous. Because for some reason people on the forums like him, so that'll help me with my cred. Okay.
Okay.
That's what's really important in the War Machine community.
yeah,
Yeah,
is,
it rubs
is,
off
is
on
cred.
Yeah. Okay. So the main forums would like me more because I'd be Magnus the Just's husband, and then so I would hate fuck Rancor while like choking him and hitting him in the head with a Earthbreaker model,
That's fair.
and then so I guess that means I'm killing Sevwall. I got through it. I'm so proud of myself.
Well done.
That was pretty.
That tasted as bad as a ketchup pizza.
That was pretty civil.
God, I
And
would.
you just like your taste buds are like tingling and sweating now.
Like what? You're already pizza. Just use tomato sauce. Why are you putting
It's funny.
fucking ketchup
He
on
reacted better to that question than our Malifaux talk.
I know it was great.
The Malifaux talk literally was killing him. I could see the
just
soul
have
leaving
to-
his
You have
body.
to feed him things while you're doing
was
these wargaming
journeying.
talks.
there? I was in my own little realm.
Yeah.
And then
was
we
thinking about stuff.
reeled
He's
you back
happy.
into reality. Welcome to Crippled System. Here's your fucking ketchup packet.
He's a
I
ketchup
don't want to be
pizza.
part of Crippled System if there's ketchup.
Yeah.
While you're
No.
You
stuck.
know what to get him for Christmas next year?
Oh yeah.
I do
Like
like.
those like quad packs of ketchup from Costco.
We'll get him like fancy like neckbeard hipster ketchup.
Do you know how good ketchup enemas are?
We can find out.
You will find out if you give me ketchup for Christmas. That's exactly my point.
It's the name of your next album, Ketchup
Yeah,
Enema.
ketchup enemas. No, it was a government-subsidized fuck cruise. Wasn't that it?
That
Yes,
was the name of
that's
the
also-
band.
Yeah, I forget what the name of the album
Well, that's
was.
the name of the album. Is
Oh.
Now I forget
No,
what the name of the band
was Government Subsidized
Yeah, the band-
Fuck Cruise.
So the album.
Fuck you, Dan.
Ketchup pizza.
Ketchup pizza.
Ketchup pizza.
Zappity.
Grumble.
That's it.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel shortchanged.
I know the Zappity Grumble is always one of the better parts of this show. Like
It's
when you're on
entertaining.
it, it's fun to just be like random question from person. Let me put my worthless input on it.
There's a double-digit number of people in chat. Start giving us questions, jerkholes.
What the hell?
Yeah, I was thinking
Lazy
that there would be a
bastards.
lot of like whiplash from.
I want 5 questions from each of you
No.
while we do a round of recommendations.
You know,
or
I hear
one question from
No,
5 of them.
no.
I've heard the Malifaux people are lazy and can't post questions. So
Let's see if their questions are as terrible as their shitty has-been game.
We give you your
There's people
champion.
leaving the chat already, so
you know what's
They're
terrible?
abandoning us.
Infinity. Infinity is terrible.
Wow.
I would want to
No,
play.
actually, I kind of want to play. I actually just bought some models for Infinity.
I tried the
Models
demo
are
of Dark Age
beautiful.
once, and it was kind of fun.
Dark Age is interesting. The models are really cool. I love Brahms' art style,
Thank you.
but the gameplay just wasn't doing it for me.
It's like every other game that no one plays.
Yeah.
It
One of
looks
my
really beautiful.
good friends got fucked out of the testing for that game.
Oh.
They helped bring about phase 2 of that, and they ended up being bought out by Cool Mini, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Cool Mini, the
just-
gatherer
they-
of all failed IPs.
They just basically said, nope, fuck you, and all
Yeah,
the beards were excluded
Kickstarter.
from the test group.
Cool Mini.
They helped them
campaigns.
test that game
They're
for
like
like a
Mantic.
good year.
That's another announcement
You know what we should play?
forgot.
The movie made me think of this yesterday. We should go on the eBays and the whatnots, and we should scoop up all the Starship Troopers models, and we should play that.
Yeah, we'll play it with 40k rules.
What? No.
'Cause
It was
that's
designed
what
by
it
somebody
basically
for
is.
40K.
Yeah.
Games Plus still has a lot of 40K, not 40K, Starship Troopers models. Because they have everything.
Brian
down
was
there.
buying and selling those to help fund his whatever
Yeah.
he was doing. at the
Heroin
time.
addiction.
Yeah, he was buying and selling a ton of those, and they were really expensive for a long time there. Seems like a cool game. Seems like it get boring after a while because you just have bugs versus humans and then random other
There was
alien
that third
things.
race, the
Yeah, that's what I said.
clonies or whatever they were called.
The meteors. They just fell from the sky and crushed people. It's a really boring race.
Infinity, in my opinion, was like a hard game to learn. I just didn't, the rules weren't sticking to my ribs.
Way too many tables.
You just weren't. The day that we tried to play it, I sat down and read the whole fucking Infinity rule book. Like, I
Bravo.
don't read rule books, and I read that rule
This
book.
was when it was like Spanish people trying
Yeah,
to write in English.
I went through that whole book of butchered English, and
Oh,
I
it's
was like,
such a bad
"Okay,
book.
Brian, let us try this." And Brian was like, as checked out as he could ever be, because I was trying to share something with him, not the other way around.
No, I don't think that was your warped woman perspective of it.
You do
Wait,
have
what?
a female woman brain.
I guess I do.
Yeah. I was fine with it. You just couldn't explain to me how the game worked half
I was
the time.
really excited I got to play.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind trying it again one of these days, but
I'm a bad teacher.
Their new models are beautiful.
that's the thing is their models do look really nice. I mean, they're getting closer and closer these days to looking more like Relic Knights, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Which is just a bad game.
yeah, which is really just a bad game.
I'm
Big-
just trying to piss off every other community I can. I don't
guess-
know. Does Relic Knights have a community or just people who bought the Kickstarter and are disappointed?
I think it just has people who bought the boxes and figured out that they
Are they
can't
the
keep it
same
in their
people who
corner.
People
like
who
to
play
jerk
Relic
into
Knight,
models?
people who
That-
play Relic Knight aren't smart enough to figure out how to listen to a podcast.
Oh, that's fair.
So
Prove us wrong
figure out how to type in a web address, you illiterate monkeys.
into the web zone.
Yes.
Order a pizza roll.
Right up there
Make
with
sure
Wrath of
you
Kings
put your
people.
Okay.
internet CD into your computer.
Did everybody in the chat give us 5 questions?
We have some questions in the chat,
Oh,
but
excellent.
at the same time, I want to keep this under the 2-hour mark. So it's a choice here. Do we answer these questions and then maybe have a very quick gloss over for recommendations?
lightning round these questions.
Lightning
Some
round these
recommendations.
questions, like truly lightning round.
Truly
Yep.
lightning round.
If somebody doesn't lightning round these, they get a stabbing.
Like each question
Can I
has
do
like
it?
1 second per person.
Oh, you're the
Oh,
best.
With a pen, so people will remember it because they'll see that mark.
I've got
I don't
a
know if I
chipped
signed
rusty
up for
knife. All right.
Do you have Frank's
Be a
toe
good
knife?
time. I have keys. No, I don't have keys.
Well, Dirty Knives is a one
One
influence,
cost,
one cost.
character play.
Yep, character play.
Oh my
It's
god!
got a 6-inch
Shut
range.
up, Zappity!
It does
Grumble!
1 damage and
poisons you.
Yeah, and poison and
Shut
one
the
negative 1
fuck
defense.
up about your fucking mouth.
No, that's Guildball.
Shut the fuck up about your fucking guilty foe.
It's one of the few ranged
Maliball.
attacks in the game.
Maliball.
Let's play Heldorado.
They had some cool models.
The worst, the worst,
Yeah.
the
Those
worst
models
way,
look beautiful. When she was talking about Spanish, I'm like,
Yeah.
that game's
Yeah.
Spanish.
the worst way to go would be anima tactics.
Ah,
Oh
Zappity.
my god.
Let's get a small store like Last Square all open to anima tactics. Poor Last Square.
Yep.
All right, Zappity.
Amazing Grace.
Okay, what is everyone's favorite rant of all time?
Nathan's ketchup rant.
Ketchup rant.
Ketchup rant.
Fucking ketchup on pizza.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Just about everything that Dennis Leary says.
Yeah.
That's my favorite rants.
I'll list
Oh,
mine.
Oh, we
the,
said-
the
you said
classic,
Nathan
the
rant,
classic
didn't you?
one though is the
favorite
the
rant.
what is it? The 7 dirty words.
Stabbing.
Seven dirty words. 7.
Zappity.
Zappity, Grumble.
Can't see it.
If you had to eat something with ketchup, what would it be?
Ass.
You wouldn't eat anything.
It would make it, it would make it taste better.
It would make it taste better.
A
Zappity.
gun?
You eat a gun. That would good too. Ass or a gun.
Grumble. All right.
That's a new pooper potato. Ass or a gun.
There's no right answer.
What is the best country in South America?
I have to think about countries in South America. Probably
Yeah, we did Brazil.
Chile.
Yeah, I'll go with Chile. I got a friend in Chile.
Panama?
No.
Panama,
That's
Central
in North
America.
America.
That's
God
North
damn it.
America.
Yeah, I almost said Ecuador. and
Jeremy's
that
not
would've
here.
been
I needed to fill in the lack of
That you would
geography
say,
knowledge.
then you would say Japan.
That's true. I would have. England. Okay, go
No,
ahead.
you would have probably said like South Africa. Because that's in South America.
South America. That's the best country in South
Congo with the
won. I thought
monkeys.
South America was a country.
Zappity.
Rumba.
Dan asks, can you have a copy, your copy of Dune after you get arrested for arson?
Sure. Merry
Oh, that's
Christmas.
nice.
Yeah.
By which I mean the David Lynch film.
Oh.
Fuck you.
How about the sci-fi miniseries?
It's better.
It is.
The David Lynch film is the only film that I have actually liked.
Yep. There you
It's
go.
the only film that I have liked that has inner monologue.
The
It is-
David Lynch film is amazing in that I
Stab
can't tell. I can't
don't
tell
understand
if
the
it's so
concept.
terrible it's great or so great it's
Stab him
fucking
again.
terrible. Zappity.
How do you really feel about hipster beers?
Beers
Hipster
or
beers
beers?
can go
Okay.
die. Well, the beer machine guy is helping me find a beer that I would like. He has told me basically my palate's shit, which Nathan would agree with because I like ketchup. So I guess I just like shitty beer, and all hipster beer is
Ketchup
supposed
beer.
to be amazing, and I don't care.
Hops is overrated garbage. It's a shit ingredient that's only used to cover up the flavor of bad beers.
And they're brewed in assholes.
Beer is better than
And
ketchup.
assholes brew them. And assholes drink them.
Is there a ketchup beer? Oh my god,
Probably.
we need to find it.
Zappity.
I'm sure there is. I'll Google
What is the second best podcast after Crippled System, of course?
Guildball
Lost
tonight.
Aspect.
Lost Aspect.
Yeah, Lost Aspect is probably
Yep.
the best one.
It's the best one you have never heard of.
Not Lost Aspect, not Lost Aspect Radio. I was gonna say ass, but Lost Aspect Radio is something that is different. I think they're like a New England podcast.
Really?
Stab him!
Brian.
Stab
But
him
they're
again!
Like, I'm gonna actually hurt you.
Whatever, it's not a big deal.
All podcasts suck, including us.
Yeah, we're fucking horrible.
are.
Why have you listened to us for 143 episodes?
That guy who tweeted,
And
like, Crippled
change.
System are terrible and shit. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's not. That's basically
that
the
seems
gist.
legit.
I loved that how I loved how
brought
that
this upon yourself.
that whole Twitter thing ended with you just basically saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Where do I go from there?
no place to go
My
after
thunder's
this.
gone.
Yeah. Zappity.
Grumble.
Oh my God. Oh God. There's been more.
Zap,
They've
dude, Zap,
grown.
move.
Go.
They've grown.
Stabbing time.
Yep.
Okay. Will you ever have an episode that will top the episode about adult Easter egg candy, aka marshmallow jizz?
No.
No.
Nope.
139 might have got close, but
The April Fool's one where we had the that was where Swedish Marshal Jeremy was introduced, and we had the interview with Keith talking about how much he hated the Texans.
Oh, that was
Correct.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
one
the
was
best.
really good.
Yeah.
You know the best part is we can now have just an interview with Keith.
yeah, it probably wouldn't sound much different.
You already have enough interview stuff from the Dresden file thing to piece something together.
That was so long to make, but I'm so happy.
It was
was
so
worth
worth it.
Okay,
Probably so
Zappity,
much
Grumble.
joy.
Is there such thing as bad CGI?
Fuck you! Who the fuck is that? I'm gonna fucking kill him. Is that Dan? Fuck you, Dan! Fuck!
Yeah, Dread.
None of you did that. That's fine. Zappity. Fuck you, Dan. That's a fuck fort inside joke, and Dan's an asshole.
Just for the record, I love Dread.
Well, Dread's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
How do I ask a girl out?
You be
don't.
friends with her for
Yeah.
4 or 5 years, and then she's obligated to have sex with you.
Oh.
That's how you get sex, though. How do you ask them out? Oh,
No, then you end up getting married
No,
and
you
everything.
just continue to ask them, and then continue to ask them, and then when you're just done with asking them, you stab them.
Yeah.
It's work for others.
Milady. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Say, hey,
Zap-
hey.
Yeah, just
That's how you don't end up being the shithead we're making fun of. You know
Yeah.
why the girl that you're perfect for her, and she's always like, why can't I find a nice guy, but she doesn't have sex with you? You know why she doesn't
Well,
have
no,
sex
this
with you?
one's okay. I
Is you
find
don't
this
fucking
one.
ask her to fucking have sex with you. All those asshole jock guys she's blowing came up to her and said, hey, you want to blow me? And she said, sure. And she blew them, and they licked her clit, and they were both happy. If you'd fucking shit or get off the pot and tell the girl you like, hey, I know we're friends, but I'd like to have sex with you. Let's maybe go out. And then when she says no, you shut the fuck up about it. Or if she says yes, you go out and you have sex, and then it's over. Don't fucking pretend to be her friend for years and years to years thinking she owes you shit. You're not really her friend if that's how you're living your fucking life, asshole.
This is my new favorite Nathan rant.
Yeah,
Zappity.
this is a good
Grumble.
Only drink coffee
true,
beer. Only drink coffee beer for the rest of your life, or have to eat ketchup on everything for the rest of your life.
Coffee
Ketchup.
beer.
Ketchup.
I would take ketchup.
Eat a gun?
No, it's one or the other.
It's like how...
One or the other.
one. Yeah,
can-
but like
How
ketchup
hoppy
on
is
ice
the
cream
beer?
sounds
I want to
awful.
clarify the first choice.
Coffee beer sounds awful.
This is-
Am I obligated to drink the coffee beer? Because I have to eat to live. Can I just say, you know what? The only beer I'm allowed to drink is coffee beer. I guess I'm never drinking beer
That's
again.
a cop-out.
Because well, I'm just wondering. Or is it a bottle a day? Is it the
bottle-
only thing I
I'd say
can
bottle
bottle a
drink?
day. That
Yep,
seems
I'd say
fair.
a bottle a day.
I'll choke down a bottle a day to not have all the food I ever eat get ruined.
Yeah,
Steaks
I'm
with
with you on
ketchup.
that one.
All right, Zappity.
Grumble.
Tort says, Relic Knights as a community, check out the hentai boards on 4chan.
Bravo, Tort. Well done. You just redeemed Australia.
Travis asks, what is art?
Video games.
You don't know. You fuckers.
I know.
This is not a pipe?
This is not. No, it is a pipe.
Oh, it
This
is a pipe. I thought it was. It was
No,
not
it's
a
this
pipe.
is not a pipe.
No, this is a pipe. Oh,
No, it's
wait.
not.
It's
It's
not a
this is
pipe.
not a pipe.
It's French for this is not a pipe or something.
I'm pretty sure it says in pipe.
It's no.
I'm-
It says this is not a pipe because that's the thing. It's supposed to challenge your perspective because it's a picture of a pipe and it says it's not a pipe and that's
Yeah.
impossible. But the answer is it's a picture of a pipe, not a pipe. Or the answer is you can lie. It's not really fucking art, but it's this is not a pipe. Is what it says.
Nice. Good. Another good rant.
Point is, lots of shit is art.
Yeah.
And Travis is
Urinals.
trying to damn me here.
An empty plastic bag blowing on the wind.
Yeah, it's the thing.
Was that
Yep,
American
it's a pipe.
Beauty.
It's not a pipe.
Yeah.
So was that April Fool's episode? Was that the Crippled System / Focus of Fury 71, or was that?
That was a good one too.
Just it was the first. It was like early in our episodes because
Because it was a 17.
It was the first April 1st that happened after we started podcasting.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's fun and good for the audience? Talking about the numbers of podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm just saying as an audience member.
We
That's
still-
usually when I love the
we
podcast the most.
Still need to have an episode that we split every minute so that we can pass Muse for episode count.
Yeah.
We were going to do that when they started splitting every episode into 3 episodes just to inflate their count.
Yeah, it's a good technique.
never got
Well,
around
the thing
to
is,
it.
though, when you record for 8 hours, then it's pretty easy to break it up into four 2-hour chunks.
It's also a lot like making a disease and a cure for the disease.
So you make the cure for the disease first.
All right. As far as I can tell, episode 10. Everyone's asking about too, which that
good.
was an amazing episode.
Actually, by far our best.
Should be checking out our archives. Check it out. See if you can find it.
If you haven't listened to episode 10, you should. It's really good.
Yeah.
Now, it's better than ketchup.
Well, so is what Fatty Arbuckle did is better than ketchup.
All right. So,
Oh.
but I like the stairs.
Fatty McGee, is that you again?
only time that fucking Adam Sandler is funny is the fucking comedy records. Oh my god! Every time I hear about like something so fatty, I just think of Fatty McGee.
Medium pace, that medium pace song for that same thing.
That was pretty good.
God.
Too.
I recommend
Quickly.
two things. One, I already spoke because I tweeted it with our Twitter account and I put it on my Facebook, but it's a Twitter called The Strange Log, and all it is patch notes and log updates from video games devoid of context. That sounds dry and dumb. Go read them. They're fucking amazing. They're like, they are art. Like, they are a bizarre form of haiku poetry.
Oh yeah.
They're just brilliant. I want T-shirts of every single one of them. And thing two is a TV show called Nathan for You. I don't know if any of you know that.
I know of it. I haven't watched it yet. I was put off by the commercials for it. They seemed just kind of a little pretentious, hipsterish to me.
It's so, you know, like Bar Rescue or whatever, where they come in and like, oh, this bar's failing, and he helps and he fixes the bar. So Nathan for You is this comedian, Nathan Barnett, I think is his last name, and he does this to various businesses. We're like, oh, this Froyo shop is failing, so I'll come in and save him. And his idea, like, you know, and so these are real shops. Like, it is actually a real thing that he's doing. But he'll go in there and, like, the Froyo one, he came up with poo-flavored frozen yogurt. And they just desperately didn't want to do it. And he bullied them into doing it. And, like, the ad marketing person is like, this is terrible. And so he just started saying, like, oh, I noticed you drive a Porsche. People with small dicks drive Porsches, and just fought with the ad exec guy and got kicked out. And then it was terrible. And he's like, hey, so I was thinking maybe poo-flavored stuff isn't that good. And then he left. And that's how he helped that Froyo shop. And he sometimes is helpful. And a couple of the things that were amazing. Do you remember, like, last year there was that dumb Starbucks that people were talking about on the Facebook feed? There was a ripoff of Starbucks, but it just had dumb in front of everything. So it was dumb frappuccinos and it was dumb tall, dumb venti. That was him. That was literally them helping a shop. And it was just so subtle that it got out there as a real thing. But it's bizarre and great.
I'll give that a shot after I watch One Punch Man.
Yeah, One Punch is your
He also
priority
tricks
one.
a lawyer. The dumb Starbucks one is really fucking amazing because they've got a lawyer that's talking about whether they can legally do this. And the lawyer's like, yeah, actually, like, this doesn't fall under parody law. You can get into big trouble. And Nathan's like, well, really, actually, you'll get into trouble. And the guy's like, no, I won't get in trouble. Like, I'm not involved. He's like, no, you're involved because the appearance thing that you signed to be on the show for this interview said that you were wholly responsible for anything we did with dumb Starbucks. And he shows it to the lawyer, and the lawyer won't give it back. So he's just, like, lunging across the table to grab the thing, and they almost get into a fucking knife fight over this contract. It's amazing.
It does sound pretty good.
I do like Bar Rescue as well.
Yeah.
It's a fun show.
So
Not true, but sometimes.
None of those things are actually real.
I'm ready to give credit to the Weird Company and say that of all the games they've ever made, they made a game called Kings of Artifice, which is unfortunately extremely expensive for what it is.
It's a good game.
It is a very good game. It's like this Euro game that's kind of got like an American flip on it. It's really fun and enjoyable. I think the price point put a lot of people out of it, and I think that a lot of their failings that could very well happen with Darkness Comes Rattling is that it seems like they cut down the costs because they didn't want to feel the same backlash from Kings of Artifice. So they, instead of putting miniatures in, which would have been perfect, they put standees in.
Yeah, they're
which
terrible.
is just so sad.
It's supposed to be a pretty good game, but the Knights of Artifice game, apparently, I've seen like on closeout sales for like $8, like everywhere
exactly.
now.
If you can
It's
find
ridiculous.
it somewhere, pick it up. It's a really great game. It's got a lot of cool like wooden pieces in it. You basically just run a race of people that have specialists that build walls in a castle, and you're trying to knock your opponent out of your area. So it's fun stuff. I enjoyed the game. I demoed it a lot in 2013, and I wish I could have picked it up, but I was too yippy over 2.0.
Their spin-off games are much better than Private Press spin-off games.
Exactly. I will say that hands down. They make other non-mini games, like Jetpack Unicorn was amazing.
Evil Baby Orphanage isn't bad. It's funny.
Conceptually, it's great.
It gets
in
old.
theory, it's
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
sorry.
sorry.
Have at her.
No,
That's my
you
recommendation.
guys go. I'll drop off if it comes out.
All right.
Go.
What do you recommend?
TV show Limitless. I know it's kind of mass markety, and it's a spin-off of the Bradley Cooper movie, which was a decent movie. They took something that could have been just this very derivative, just continuation of kind of okay concept, it made it this really incredibly bizarre show. I mean, half the episodes is this guy like explaining things through the use of puppets, and they had a whole episode that was completely about Ferris Bueller, where he decides he's taking a day off, and the entire thing is like him getting kidnapped by mercenaries, and still somehow he manages to make the entire thing about Ferris Bueller, and the thing ends with like a Principal Rooney on the bus thing. It's just the most bizarre show that I've seen on TV in a long time.
Was there gummy bears at the end
there was gummy bears at the end.
Well, there you go.
Legitimately. It's really clever. It's got the sister from Dexter is one of the main characters in it.
I'm out. You
I know,
just
I
ruined
already-
your recommendation.
I'm sorry,
for me.
but she's actually decent in this show.
No.
I didn't like her in Dexter either. I
Oh,
thought
she
she
was
was
so
terrible in Dexter.
fucking horrible. I was so glad she
But-
died.
Okay, yes. Spoilers.
Fuck that. She died of like a brain tumor. It was awesome.
And then Dexter turns into a lumberjack.
Yep.
Don't watch Dexter.
Yeah.
The end.
Sorry, I brought up Dexter.
Past
I
just
should-
season
okay.
4.
But seriously, Limitless is a really good show. It's surprisingly good. So,
In my head, I misspelled Bradley Cooper's name because I know his first name is Bradley, but I like to think his first name is Brad and his middle name's Lee, and he just uses all 3 names.
he's in the show a lot too, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. So.
That's cool. I thought he was just in the initial pilot just to set the mode for the show.
He's a major character in the show. He's not in like every episode or stuff like that, but I'd say
That's
like
cool.
every 4th or 5th episode he shows up. So, and it's like a prime motivator of what's going on, the overall story. But it's surprising.
Cool. You got one?
I'm going to recommend the woodworking wargaming woodworker gentleman on Facebook, the guy who made Brian's box.
Yep.
He also is currently making pens.
Do we-
Brian bought me one of these pens for Christmas.
Do we
It's
know his
fantastic.
name?
I don't know what his name is. We can look him up on Facebook.
John, I think.
But his pens are fantastic, and I know right now he's doing a giveaway, and if he gets so many likes on Facebook for his page, he will be giving out another pen. And
Is this some sort of referral thing
His
where
name's
you're
John.
getting a bunch
No,
of referrals?
no.
Just kidding.
Ponzi scheme.
We have
It
to
really
get that
isn't it?
crippled system money somehow.
No, I
Do
mean,
they
like,
officially
it's
license Crippled
actually,
System dice trays?
Really
yeah,
high
that'll
quality
put it.
stuff.
They'll
Though.
put it up to a $300 price value. No, it's a great alternative to the Wormwood ones. People are like, this is too expensive, but I really want a nice looking dice tray. This guy handcrafts it. You can add on certain things or take off certain things. It's a great thing if you want to get in for like a lower price than what these ridiculous prices on the Wormwood ones are going to be.
Also, the pens.
The pens are nice too. Like
I love writing things.
I used it once
love
and
writing
loved it.
utensils. It's fantastic.
Speaking of internet contests, if you're done, I recommend if you have an internet contest for a product of yours, follow through with the people who actually win that contest. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, I'm not going to say anything else on that because that's
you're
as far as
just-
I'm going to go with that.
You're
Did you
hookering
win
out.
something?
No.
You're hookering out. For
I did
likes
win
and then
something
not
off of
following
an
through.
internet contest, and that person / company has, after I sent them my address, like within minutes after they announced me,
Never follow.
I know exactly what
never
you're talking
followed
about.
through
That's really
with that
crummy.
with that request at all. I sent an email out mid December.
Seems
You
like
got
it wouldn't be
blocks.
bad to call him out as a
You
jerk.
got your blops?
No, that's something different. That's
was the
completely
radio,
different.
wasn't
That's
it?
the radio,
Yeah.
the radio one. That was cool. But no, this other place they never. Well, they said when I sent it out in mid-December that it was on its way. It'll be there
They didn't provide a tracking number, then you know they're probably
No,
lying.
Why aren't we calling these people out?
because I'm nice like that.
I know
All right,
exactly
we're gonna
what
call
you're
it-
talking about.
Yep, we're gonna call it out now because we're almost 2 hours.
All right.
Right.
Have a good evening, folks. I hope.
Malifaux sucks.
Thanks, son. Everyone for watching.
Yay!